Welcome into the Cam Strick podcast, episode number 247, presented by Hair Club, baby, as well as the Illinois Recovery Center, First Form, Bellman Automotive, Cam. I mean, we can go on and on and on with everybody. Test on Roofing. We'll give everybody a shout out now.
We got some good ones, Andy. We got some good ones. So Andy's, just in case you guys can't, like, maybe we sound a little different. Andy's still on vacation. I think it's been about 14 days now. He's been in Cape Cod with his family, but he's in his cabin right now, and I'm at home, so it may sound a little different because Andy's still on vacation. How is it, by the way, man? I've been following you on your Insta and all that shit, and it looks pretty cool, man. Whale watching and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. You've been evaluating me or what?
Well, isn't that what you do whenever you follow
Well,
somebody?
that's how you normally put it. So you've been evaluating. So what's your read on things? What's your take on it?
It looks beautiful. It looks cool. Your crib looks cool that you're in right now. That beach side that you posted look cool. You know, whale watching. You know, it's cool. A couple cool restaurants and things like that. Is it my cup of tea? No, but if the kids love that kind of stuff, and you know, your place is nice where they can have like their own little hideout too, and you know, easy to get around, then I'd say that's a pretty cool trip. Now, it's very expensive. Like I say, you had to rent a car. The house looks really big.
Cam's all worried about my expenses.
No, I'm curious because isn't that what it's about?
Several times now, you keep saying how expensive it is.
The cabin looks expensive, like it's like a lot of money. I'm just curious on how much everything put together is. Is it worth being in Cape Cod? I just say I would probably rather spend that coin and be in like Exuma, you know,
and go in like the Dominican Republic.
No,
Exuma. Where's that? Like Mexico?
That's down in like the Bahamas, like deep south for
yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Everywhere's different, man. Like
I know.
I become very familiar, Cam, with the coastline all throughout the world. Really studying marine life and all of that comes with it. You know, the thing about these East Coast beaches, and you got to get up to the East Coast and go to these beaches. They're different. It's not like you're in the tropical islands. You know what I'm saying? So you have to appreciate every beach and every different landscape that you go to and appreciate it for what it is. There's a ton of history here, dude. This is where like the Pilgrims and everybody's settled. You've got some real shit that happened here, boy. Where I'm standing right now, I'm sure some stuff back in the 1400s or something. I'm sure something went down. No. 1800s for sure.
1400s is all natives. There's still things that were there in the 1400s, but the people weren't over here colonizing in the 1400s. That started like the 1600s and stuff like that.
Well, whatever.
200 years off.
Yeah,
200 years off on that.
1800. You know who was hanging out where I am right now? The Quakers, dude. This is where the Quakers were at.
Yeah, man.
You know what the Quakers are?
Yeah. I understand the whole theory of everything like that. But I'll tell you this: if you went in your backyard right now and like dug up things, I bet you'd find all kinds of little stuff, like little you know, if you had like a metal detector or something, you could find all kinds of stuff. Although you can't do that, but there's all kinds of little trinkets laying around. Very historic. That's cool about that, though, Andy, is just to teach the kids that kind of stuff, man. It's cool, man. It's a neat place to go. I'm just saying, like, and I've been up there and stuff like that, and I don't have kids. I'd rather be like maybe in Exuma, but I like what you're doing.
Have you been on the Cape Cod before? Where have you gone on the Cape?
I haven't been to the Cape yet.
So yesterday, I saw John F. Kennedy's estate, dude. Now, not his estate. His estate, I don't even know if
his summer house.
They have like a museum. I don't even know if they have the summer house still around or not, but it was like a museum. Dude, they've had some bad luck in that family. I mean, I've been reading up on that family, Cam. I mean, plane crashes galore, people dying like left and right. Very tragic, but they're still worth more than $1 billion. Like, how do they have still that type of net worth? Like, how are they making money?
Well, there are a lot of politicians. Well, why don't you listen to RFK Jr. right now? And he goes on all kinds of podcasts and stuff like that. He's hard to listen to because he had a problem with his throat, so he doesn't really speak very like deep. Like he's got talks like this. It's very hard to listen to, but he's a smart guy.
I've never heard that. Who is this? RFK?
RFK Jr. Yeah.
He
So
talks
his,
like
you
that?
know, his grandfather died, his dad died, crazy stuff. And John F. Kennedy Jr.'s son, JFK Jr., who's like the most handsome guy in the world. He was like writing for he owned like a magazine company in New York, and he's doing his thing. And when he got his pilot's license, so he bought this little plane, and he's taking his wife and his wife's sister to, I believe it's either Martha's Vineyard or whatever. And that's where he got in a plane crash. And the reason why he got in a plane crash is because of those pilot ignorance. Or not ignorance, but it was pilot error, I should say. But there's still ignorance involved. He didn't set, like, on those planes, like, the gas is like spread out, So once you go halfway, you have to switch this like little lever so it evens out the gas again, so you're not tilting. And he didn't do it. And it was at nighttime, and he was in the middle of the water. There's a spot where you couldn't really like see the bank or any lighting. So your navigation skills are just gone because the water's dark. And he started tilting and tilting and tilting. And all of a sudden they just ran down and died instantly. It was horrific. But that was pilot error.
Right into the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah. Yeah. He
couldn't
even it out.
They died. Yeah. So they were headed to Martha's Vineyard. Then he was going to go back to Hyannis, where his house was. Yeah. But he was hanging out with Trump and all those dudes back in the day before Trump was even like that famous,
Like if you look at it, Andy, like that family, like, yeah, they had tragedy, but like they've also had some like they're all beautiful, they're all wealthy. So like a lot of them died, but they've also had some like good luck too. It's pretty nice to be like born into that family. You're doing pretty good.
It is, except when you're all like dying at like 30.
Well,
from, like,
a lot of people die. A lot of people die that are poor.
Tragic accidents. Tragic.
That happens. Yeah, but that happens with poor people too, Andy.
No, it does.
It's nice to be rich and have at least the money gets deferred different ways.
Yeah, there's all different ways to look at it. There's no question about it. You can look at it that way. They are very, very wealthy. A lot of people are up here, as a matter of fact, Cam. The real estate here is very expensive.
See, now I know why Andy went up there, I think. Like he goes to the Creve Coeur Racket Club. Everybody's talking about going on different trips and stuff. And I think Andy was due for a social media, like just like a social media tour to show the people at the Racket Club that, hey, we're in the mix too. We'll stay at places. We go to high-end stuff. I think there's a little bit to that.
You think so? At the Creve Coeur Racket Club? You think they're following along on social media?
Yeah, your buddies.
Seeing what's going on.
I'm just bullshitting you, homie. How are the kids with everything? Like, is it hard to entertain them? Like,
are they doing
good?
They are so conditioned, dude. They are conditioned from a very young age just to like travel.
Yep.
And every vacation is different. Sometimes you put the backpack on. Sometimes you carry the suitcase.
Yep.
It's just.
I respect that, homie.
This is a suitcase vacation. Although we've got some issues here. Yeah, the house is great and everything, but like Cam, there's like monster ants like all over the house.
Really?
All of a sudden. Yes.
Big boy ones? Like what? Like
big boy ones. And so I can just like ignore them, whatever. But my wife, she doesn't play with that. She loses her mind with these ants.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a bedroom in the basement. Like it's like 3 levels, this house. So it's not really like a basement. It's like a finished level. And nobody's sleeping down there. It's got its own bathroom, everything, I got the extra bed because of these ants.
Yeah.
And whatever other insects are down there.
Well, I would say that if it's the big black ones, I think they're kind of harmless. Maybe if there's red ones, I don't know what they have up in Massachusetts as far as like fire ants. I believe they might be everywhere, but they could get you. But no, if you see a bug anywhere, and even, who am I kidding? Like, even as being tough, like if I saw a goddamn spider when I'm a kid down at the cabin at the lake, I get fucked up for a week, man. If I open my bed sheets up and there's a goddamn spider there, dude, that used to kill me, man. There's spiders everywhere. That would fuck me up. And even insects, dude. The other day, it's been raining here in St. Louis. Kate and I get up, there's goddamn ants everywhere. I'm like, fuck, get the vacuum. It happened again. We've been getting rocked with storms down here, Andy. You've been missing some crazy-ass lightning storms.
Really? Well, I'm glad I missed those.
Andy, I'm just letting you know. You got big trees by your house. These headwinds that come through St. Louis fuck up so much shit, dude. People power is out forever. They can't keep up with it. if we got rocked by a monster tornado like I'm predicting it's going to happen in our lifetime, dude, this city's not going to know what the fuck to do, especially downtown. They don't have the right ambulances are backed up. Fucking, the companies are all backed up. There's cars parked everywhere. Like, it's chaos down there. So when these headwinds come and they knock these old-ass 300-year-old trees down and it fucks up a lot of stuff, it's hard to get people to clean it up. So people are out of power forever, and then it's 110 degrees. So it's been kind of chaotic. Stay up there, Andy.
All right, so listen, I may go work on the fishing pier too. I've met a number of people, Cam. A few people have offered me jobs if I want to stay here full time and work on the fishing pier. You see how nasty it is? Like, I showed that video of those fish, like that they get them out of the water, they're all bloodied, and then they send it up to the top, and then it like falls into like a cardboard box with a bunch of ice in it.
Yeah.
And then where does it go? Now where's it going after that?
Well, they just keep shipping it out, and then they put it in some ice in a truck, and it goes to New York City and drops it off at all the restaurants, or I'm sorry, Boston, drops it off at all the restaurants. Dude, that's awesome to see that, Andy. I know I keep chirping, and I probably got to stop doing it because I kind of like where you're going, and I have to like give you a compliment. Like, I want to chirp you because I get text messages from everybody. They love the show. So many people are texting or DMing me about going through shit, and they put us on repeat, and they love the banter. So I kind of wanted to chirp you off the bat, but now I'm like realizing that I like what you're doing, homie. And the kids are learning. They're learning about history. They're seeing how hard shit-kicking sons of bitches out there like that, them gosh dang fishermen. You got to tip your cap to those guys. Always say hey to them, man. They're busting our ass, Andy. Dealing with all that stuff. They're in the storms. They're going through all kinds. This to feed us. This to feed our country, our obese country. Those guys are shit-kicking, man. So I appreciate it. And I want to chirp you, and I know the critical record will have something to do with it, but I like it. And the kids are learning about history too. I forgot about that aspect of it. So
I'm thinking about doing a sailing competition, Cam.
Okay, now you're getting stupid. You want to be so like those sailors out there, they have the yachts and they're racing, the racing sails. That's a fancy lad sport. I'd say that's top. If you're going to look at the most fancy lad sports in history, that's probably one of them. F1 racing, getting to that, has got to be something.
Oh, yeah.
Polo, not water polo, but polo with the horses and stuff like that. Fancy lad stuff.
But when they're sailing, they wear their polos and the collars up.
Nautica.
While they're sailing.
Pretty cool. They do
that.
I like that, man. And I bet you dude, those beautiful old homes when America was booming in the late 1800s, and all these like railroad tycoons and oil and cars were coming out and stuff like that, and all these millionaires at the time bought these huge mansions on the cliffside throughout that area, looking over the beauty of the Atlantic Ocean, and they have those yards that are like 18 acres. They're sitting right in the middle with a castle. It's awesome.
I will say, being over in Nantucket yesterday, Cam, you get the odd guy with like the salmon colored pants, and the woman with the sweater tied over her shoulder with the collar. There's a number of them. Yeah. They get the woven belts. It's very preppy over there in Nantucket, and I like taking the ferry and going over there. Man, it was absolutely beautiful. We had some of the best pizza I've ever had, man. I got to give a shout out to Oath Pizza. I'm like, this place is incredible. So I looked it up to see if Portnoy had ever done a review there, and he actually did one. It was one of the highest reviews he's ever had, 9.3.
Really?
Yeah, because we're in that territory. I'm like, wait, he's had to have done a review here. 9.3.
I thought that was more like the New Haven, Connecticut era, but no, there's good pizza. Well, you know what, Andy? You're living a fancy laugh lifestyle. I went to blue collar East Dalton, Illinois, baby. I did a charity event for Dog Nation, and then I played with the police and fire team. Reed Lowe set it up. Kids everywhere, packed house, East Dalton, shit kicking, steel mills everywhere and stuff like that. Played a nice hockey game, raised some money for some good charity, Andy. And then Kate, like all weekend, she had to put together for our first time having like a party over here, with like extended family that really haven't been over here and stuff like that.
Who came over?
Her dad has 4 brothers and a huge family. And they got, and they're also over 70 years old, and they love the golf, and they're getting really old, Andy. And we set it up a surprise golf outing. He didn't know. All his brothers showed up. All the family showed up, and like they're very slow. They're very slow at golf, Andy. So I had to back them up with Kate and her brother and his wife, and we were the anchor, just so no one crept up on them. We wanted them to take their time. That one has like getting all timers, so it's probably the last time that they had a golf outing together, and it was kind of stressful. And we put it all together, and it worked out, man. And we had a nice little party over here, and I did some good deeds. And now Kate's happy with me, and I like it, Andy. I like it.
And they're probably better than you at golf. You probably stress them out. I mean, they haven't golfed with somebody like you in probably 40 or 50 years.
They didn't golf with me. They're by themselves, man. I golf with Kate and her brother. You can't golf with 15 people. It's because you don't know shit about golf, and you probably would have 50 people at a time go together. No, it's not how it works. Okay, it's not how it works. They had their own
pay for everybody to golf.
Yeah, of course.
No, everybody, like the uncles.
Yeah. You know, well, we have a plan where we could have free guests. I mean, a certain amount of free guests a year.
How many free guests do you get? Because I'd like to take up the majority
like 40
of those free. Okay, well, I should get 40 rounds of golf a year then.
I already took you twice.
When I think about it.
And you were 40 minutes late. They weren't late.
Hey,
they were there before us.
I was in the middle of the sea. I was like, who's the most famous like captain from back in the day?
There's a lot of them, dude.
Well, give me one.
Well, what kind of captain are you talking about?
Like, pirate? I mean, dude, I saw.
Or are you talking about like a?
I saw real pirates. I see old school sailboats, dude. Like they look like model ships that you have like on your shelf in like an office. Like a lawyer would have like a model ship in his office. I see the real thing on the water. I'm in the middle of the sea, Cam. Nobody's around me, and all of a sudden, this whale just jumps out of the water. Can you believe that? Did you see that whale? I almost got attacked by a whale. Cam's sending me messages to be careful. Now, fact checkers have come to me. They said that the humpback whale, which is what I saw, I probably saw 12 different humpback whales.
Yeah.
They weren't the orcas. They weren't the killer whales. But these humpback whales are some of the most friendly animals in the ocean, Cam. They won't even come near you. They won't hurt humans. They don't try to attack humans. Did you know that?
No. Yeah, no, I know that they don't try to. They're very, very nice, but they don't mean to. They just accidentally come up and land on a boat and will capsize it.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? Now they go under the boat, but sometimes they listen. Apparently, they know to stay away from the boat. You know.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't. Look it up. Look it up. It happens all. Actually, the other day, the other day, maybe not a humpback whale. It could be a sperm whale or whatever. There's plenty of whales, but it actually. It swallowed a kayak with people in it and it spit it out. So that was kind of crazy. Yeah.
A whale did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, see what happens there, Cam, is the whale will mistake a human being who's on like a kayak or a surfboard or a paddleboard. They'll mistake the human for a seal.
Yeah. No, that's what sharks do too.
Yeah, because the arms. Well, in reality, sharks aren't trying to eat humans either. When they do attack a human, they usually mistake the human for something else.
Are you reading things up there or something? Were you preparing for this one? Yeah, dude. Sharks mistake you. They don't like eating humans. I mean, but push comes to shove, they will. But usually they just bite you and they let you go, but you bleed out.
Hey, I met a woman. I'll give her a shout out. Last name is Benoit. Dude, I'm walking through Nantucket, and there's a kid with like a hockey bag. And like Ty runs over and starts talking to the kid, like, like, what's up? Where you play hockey, blah, blah, blah. They end up being from St. Louis, dude. Diehard listeners of the podcast. So we'll give them a shout out. They listen to every episode.
Oh, what's up then? Hell yeah.
So she was like, Cam's going to give you so much shit for being here right now. I'm like, oh, yeah, I know that.
No,
I know.
I did at the beginning. Look, it for me, like I like the historical value that if the kids. Again, it's not an easy place to take kids, I guess, but your kids are pretty damn cool with stuff, Andy. And if you're teaching them about I don't know, the fishermen that have to get up so early and go out there and they're looking at the skyline when they're going out, they're looking at each other like, damn, we're going to be in one today, just to feed our fat asses, And then, of course, the historical aspect of everything. I like it, man. I like the house that you're at. Would Kate and I, with no kids, want to go to Cape Cod or take that money and, again, go to the white sandy beaches and get catered on a little island somewhere? I would probably choose that every time. But I like what you're doing because, again, they're learning stuff. They go hiking. They check out, different lakes. It's hard to chirp you on this, Andy. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm not going to completely disagree with you. It's heavy seaweed. There's a lot of seaweed and stuff. It's not like your crystal clear turquoise water that you're going to find in like where you're going to in like Aruba or something like that. It's not that. But the shoreline is absolutely stunning, man. It's beautiful. Like the actual landscape here and the architecture, the home, everything, man, is just it's super nice.
It reminds me of England. It's not sandy, beautiful beaches in England. It's not known for that, but it's known for the cliffside beauty and just looking over the horizon and seeing storms coming through and stuff like that. The water's rough. The water's kind of hardcore, like it's not pleasant water to go swimming and stuff like that, but it shows the reality of hardcore, the Atlantic is when big storms come in. Imagine like being through like even Hurricane Sandy, when Hurricane Sandy came up in 2012. I don't know if Cape Cod got rocked that bad or not, but I think the whole East Coast, the whole seaboard got hit pretty good. I know Jersey and New York were really affected by it, but man, it would be cool. I do love looking at those houses. You can go on YouTube, man, and they'll be like, hey, check these out. These old school houses from, in the 1800s. In Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, whatever it is, looking over the sea. It's awesome. They're huge. They're too big, but I like the landscape and stuff. I don't know. It's cool, man.
They have a certain type of siding on all the houses. I don't know exactly what you call the siding, but there's a certain type of siding that all these houses seem to have. So anyway, so I was whale watching, doing a lot of that, man, out at the sea. I mean, very dangerous conditions, Cam. Extreme conditions, and to see a whale, man, it's a once in a lifetime situation right there. It's a once in a lifetime experience. It could have landed on the boat. Let's be honest, it was a very extreme situation.
You're saying once in a lifetime, like you can go whale watching every day if you wanted to.
Where?
There. I mean,
you got to be. Yeah, you got to be in a magical.
They're around everywhere. You can go to California, just like go out. I mean, So once in a lifetime, you're pumping up the vacation a little too much. Maybe I need to kind of like bring it back. I think you're talking about a little too. And I think if people up in Saskatchewan right now, all the shit kickers are like, okay, move on, move on now. Okay?
I'm having dinner tonight at Judd Brackett's restaurant in Harwich. Judd Brackett, head of amateur scouting for the Minnesota Wild. I'll give him a shout out. He owns 2 restaurants here, just right down the road.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I'll get to check out his spot. Now, listen, one more thing about the vacation real quick. The first day we get here, dude, they closed down like several beaches because of sharks.
Hey,
and
boys.
People are sending me, the great whites. People are sending me stories and links, even Big Walt is being like, dude, because he knows this is like, his area, dude. This is where they vacation every summer and where he came for years and years and years as a kid. He was told me beforehand to watch the sharks, but then they're sending me stories. So I'm not going to lie, dude. I'm a little nervous about the sharks. It makes me a little uneasy on these beaches.
Yeah, I think again, if you really want to break it down as far as percentages, you're more likely to get rocked by the current, than anything, because your little ass ain't going to you're not saving any money. So if little Ty and Ivy go in there like, I'm going to swim, no one's saving them. So that's what I'd worry about. So just keep them like a close eye. Make sure it's like a little cove where the waters are just calm. You're not directly on the Atlantic. It needs to be like a little inlet because you're not saving anybody.
Hey, I want to get Jason.
If those football players are dying trying to save people and shit like that, you're not going to do it.
I'll give Jason Garrett a shout out. He's the former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Remember him?
Yeah, redhead.
Yeah, he was hanging out in Nantucket. So he recognized me, and we said a few things to each other.
I bet.
He's like, "Hey, what's up?"
What else?
He's like, "What's up? What's up, Strick?" I'm like, hey, who are you? What's your name again? He's like Jason Garrett. So he was there with his dad. Dude. They were talking football, man. Like his dad's a longtime football coach too. So it was interesting, kind of being with a couple of old school guys. What's going on, man? Not a whole lot besides that. We're just chilling. Be heading back to St. Louis here shortly. Is there anything hockey going on? Are people like paying attention to hockey?
I think besides like Galchenyuk, what do you do? Galchenyuk, who's been bounced around so many times, but he got a little cray with the police, man. Not good. You know, threatening the police. Like those guys don't fuck with that shit, man. You got some Russian kid coming down slurred out of his mind, and he's like threatening the cops. They're probably like, "Fuck you, dude."
He's not really Russian. I mean, he is. Like he was raised
he?
here he was raised here in the States. He was born in the States.
He born here?
I think he's got like Belarusian parents, maybe.
So he was born in the United States?
Yeah, raised here.
Was he born here?
He played for Team USA in the World Juniors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he speaks like perfect English and all that?
Pretty much, yeah. He told the police that he was just joking. I think he like threatened the police. Yeah. Like said that he'll have them chopped, which I guess is like a term, like a mobster term that you use like in Russia. Like said he's got some like, and he may have some Russian like contacts that could maybe, you know, do some crazy shit on a phone call, man. You just make a phone call.
I bet he doesn't.
Galchenyuk.
I bet he doesn't. That's just stupid to do, man. Listen, you're talking like these guys. Like, what the fuck you saying to me? Look, I just read the story. I don't know. I wasn't there, but it doesn't sound good. Anytime that you harass the police like that, like you look like a fucking idiot. Like you truly do. Mm-hmm. You could have played it cool, then maybe they would let you go, but you act like a jackass. Again, I don't know the full story, but it doesn't look good. I don't know.
Because we don't get the full story.
Never.
You know? If this was like an NFL player, we'd like know the entire story by now. Everything that happened.
I think you don't know the full story with that either. You know, you don't know the full story with these NFL guys. Are you kidding? You don't know the full story of anything.
The police video would come out. I'm waiting for this police video.
That's what I want to see. Let's check that out.
Where's that camera, baby?
Yeah. Oh, it's there. It's there. 100%.
He was with his dad when he got arrested. So the Coyotes were like, right away, they were like, you know, they just cut ties immediately and said, hey, okay, we're like waiving this guy and for the purpose of like terminating his deal. They're like, oh, we don't have to pay you. Okay, we're going to get rid of you like immediately.
I know. Oh, good.
But I don't really blame him. You know, you don't really need a dipshit in your organization. You know, if you're embarrassing the brand, doing stupid shit in the community. Now, if that was like Clayton Keller or somebody else, they're probably like, okay, let's talk this out and see exactly what happened, you know?
Yeah,
but it's Galchenyuk. They're like, see you later. He's been with the Coyotes a couple times in the past too. I think this is like his third stint with the Coyotes.
You bounce around that much. There's always a reason for that, you know?
What does that say about your career, Cam, if you keep coming back to Arizona?
Yeah, I know. The desperate place to go. Bill Armstrong was on Sirius the other day, though. Yeah, I mean,
it's cool.
He's a good talker, you know.
Great talk.
You do listen to him, you feel like everything's okay down there, but in reality, it's like stuff, you know, stuff.
Well, what's he supposed to say? You know,
I don't know, but whatever he said, he's a good communicator.
He's a great talker.
He's a great talker.
He kind of like can control the conversation and the narrative like very, very well. And, you know, listen, he doesn't own the team. He's not the president of the team. You know, he worked his balls off for years and years and years to get to this position in his career to become an NHL general manager. Yeah. And it just so happens the first opportunity he's gotten as a GM is with this franchise that, you know, plays in a tier 3 rink. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's a very nice college rink. They play in a college rink, and they don't have the same luxury and ability that, you know, other NHL general managers probably have around the league. So he's like operating under like a different set of guidelines than most NHL managers in the league today.
I mean, call it a tier 3 rink. Like, okay, like a tier 1 would be a normal NHL size. A tier 2 would be like a big American League size, like a 10,000 seater. That's a tier 3 rink. Like they got a lot of stuff going on, man. They really do.
No junior teams playing in a 20,000 seat arena.
I didn't say junior. I didn't say that. But there's some like 9,000 seat arenas.
Yeah, it's a newer college building. I think it's like considered to be a nice college rink. So that's what they're in. They're in a college rink, but they're an NHL team.
Yeah, I know. It is what it is. They're goofy.
Yeah.
I hope. I don't know what's going to happen with them, but I'll tell you this, though, Andy. I'm sick of baseball. It's boring. The sport's boring. Like, you got to talk to tennis is going on. It's like, I don't care. The Cardinals are bizarre. Like, I can't wait for hockey to come, man. Like, I truly can't, man. It's been kind of like a dog days. This is a dog days now. We still got August to go through. August is brutal in St. Louis, just so all y'all know. It's fucking brutal. Andy's probably going to go on another vacation somewhere. It's nice and cold, a little chilly. It's god-awful in St. Louis in August. It's actually very depressing, to be honest with you. It will be so fucking hot. And then you look at your grass, and your grass is starting to get orange, and you're like, fuck. You can't go outside for anything. Like, you have to take cold showers because you get out of the shower and you go outside to start your car. You're soaked again. The humidity's nasty. It's going to be brutal. August sucks. You know what's a good place to go, Andy? I hear Michigan. If you're living in St. Louis, I heard you drive like 7 hours up to Michigan. There's all these cute little towns like on the lake, nice and chilly at night. Like, it doesn't get that hot. The bugs are okay. You can still like kind of camp. You can make fires.
No, you should head up there. I've been to South Haven, Michigan, dude, was our spot for a number of summers. It's not even 7 hours. It's like 5 hours.
Really?
Yeah. And it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And great little towns. Easy to get to. I'd have no problem going to Michigan, man. We like to try things we've never done. Like every year we try to go somewhere we've never gone. And like, I don't know if we're coming back to Cape Cod anytime soon, man. But it's like
no, but you did your thing.
Once in a lifetime opportunity. Hey, listen, not opportunity, whatever. You come out here, you check it out. I want to see like everything, man. You just check it out. But we went to a Cape Cod League baseball game too, Cam. Those are like
that's the stuff you do with the kids. Like Kate and I wouldn't think to do that, but like that's what Ty like it.
But the whole community comes out, dude. Like everyone's out there. The players are, like they're all like big time, like future MLB players, right? They all play at like Florida, Miami, LSU, like all the big time colleges. So this is like the summer league for like the big time college and Major League Baseball prospects. So like, they're legit, dude. They're hitting bombs. So it was kind of cool, like to take in like kids who grow up around here or who summer here every year. It's part of the experience. I put that video up on my Instagram, dude. I got more messages about that. People are like, damn, I used to do that when I was a kid, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So it's a very popular spot. I will say people are taken back when we tell them we're from St. Louis. They don't understand why we're here. They're like, what? I feel like this is primarily only a spot where people who live on the East Coast go to.
Yeah, I know. I get you on that. I think you're talking about your vacation a little too much now, because now you're talking about like a goofy baseball game they went to and that you get messages about. So I'm going to have to like cut you off on that. I think I'm going to have to cut you off now. It's getting ridiculous because I know I'm going to get messages about you talking about your vacation too long. Andy thinks he's in fucking Italy. He's in fucking Massachusetts.
Cam, it looks like
I'm done being nice now. I'm done with it. Hey, do you see this psycho fucking serial killer they found kind of by you? That big ass, I think it was an accountant. They killed all those little women.
Dude.
It was like, they're like 18
How
years
big
old.
is that guy?
He looked, and he had a bunch of child porn stuff, and he was married with kids. It's like, how does your wife?
He's an architect.
Yes, he's an architect. How does your wife not know you're up to something? Like, seriously. Like, how does she? And I knew it's like, well, my son's a murderer. I had no idea. How? I do not know. You evaluate your kids. You evaluate your wife. My wife evaluate. I keep like, how do you not know? If he's downstairs, all of a sudden he throws his goddamn computer down. Like, I'm working. Wait, what? What are you doing? Like, to be a serial killer, dude, it takes a lot out of you. You have to have different phones. You have to you're watching child porn. You have to have all this stuff going on. How the fuck does your wife not know you're a fucking weirdo? How? That is so odd to me. You know what I'm
Maybe he
talking
didn't do it. Maybe he didn't do it.
Oh, he's fucked, dude.
Okay,
Look
so
at-
listen.
he
Did you
looks
see
like
how the FBI arrested him? Like just walking down the street in New York City. You know, he had his
Yes.
office there. He's an
Yep.
architect, like we said. Now,
Yep.
there's 3 women who disappeared, whatever, and they found bodies that he's being charged with. They say there's a 4th too, but
They
this
say
goes
there's
back. I
multiple.
think it extends to like 2009 or something like
13
this.
years.
This has been a long, long time that they've been investigating this, and they tracked this guy down, who looks like he could play like offensive tackle for like the Redskins, like back in the day.
He looks like an Alabama lineman. Like, hey, like.
But his house is a disaster. You see his backyard, dude. It's a fucking wreck. Like they're like, combing through his house and taking all the shit out. Like this
Weird.
guy. Now, apparently he got all emotional. His lawyer said, like through tears, said he didn't do it. Like,
Yeah, okay.
What if he didn't do it? Like,
Well,
he's
then
fucked
we'll-
regardless.
Well,
no one will ever want to be around this guy again.
Well, there's so many but there's still proof of weird stuff. If you went on his computer, Andy, you went on his computer and you looked at all his shit, you'd be like, okay, even if he didn't kill those women, he's fucked. Like weird, he's going to jail anyway. But it's just odd to me with all these either serial killers or the kids are fucked, and the parents are just like, I didn't know. Like you probably found fucking skeletons of like cats in his room. Like, what do you think that is? Chicken bones from KFC? What the fuck do you think that is? You're not going to question that.
Not all these serial killers act like that, Cam.
Andy, there's always something. Why do you think I get caught? There's always something. Like it just shows
how'd they catch him? How'd they identify it and like kind of narrow in on him?
They've actually been following him for a while, and they connected
like 3 years or something.
I think it was way longer than that. It was a cold case, and they brought it back up. And I think that his burner, you know how you're a drug dealer, man. Anytime you know a drug dealer, they go through phones like every 2 months. Like if the guy's selling shit, he'll send out a new number every 2 months, and they just throw it away, and they throw it away, and they throw it away. So I think they connected where this guy was calling, and they kind of put it together in the area where these girls were missing. Look, it's so complex.
Cam, you know what? Yep. All these girls, they're all prostitutes.
I know, but I think there's more murders too. I think they're.
Oh, there's more. There's more.
Exactly. This guy's smart. Like these killers are also smart. Like they really are. Like a lot of these criminals that you think are just dipshit. No, they know the system. They know people and their mannerisms and their when they leave their car, where they take their kids. Like they evaluate and they sit and they evaluate everything. But it's just hard to understand how you could take the time to do all this crazy stuff where you have to hide and do this, do that, and then still have a business and a family to run. To be able to tie all that together is incredible. So there's something missing. Like either he didn't talk to his family, he's gone all the time, his business is going under. I don't know how you juggle all that. It's very weird.
I wonder why he would like leave it so obvious with some of the shit that he was searching on his computer. Like, doesn't he erase that stuff?
Yeah, but does it erase?
Or are they following his Google patterns as they're tracing him and watching everything that he's searching? Yeah. Just know, anybody out there, you're planning to do some shady shit, they're going to find you. They're going to catch you.
They're always going to. Even if it's down the line, they find all kinds of different.
Did you see the lady who she was in a tiger sanctuary and she was arguing with her husband, and the tiger came and just snatched her, Cam. And it just grabs her by the arm, takes her away. The husband gets out of the car to like chase her, to like rescue her. But then her mom, the old lady, she gets out of the car. She starts running towards the tigers. A second tiger comes out, mauls, eats the old lady. She's dead.
So two
the
dead?
Other lady, nope. The woman, well, she's got like life-threatening injuries. But like getting out of the car in a tiger sanctuary, what the Like, what do you think is going to happen? I honestly, I don't feel bad for her. I actually don't like this lady, Cam, to be honest with you, because she got out of the car and she got her mom killed because of it.
Yes, she did. And because of an argument. And you know what? It just like, you guys like, I try to be open as hell. Like sometimes you get into nasty arguments with your wife or your husband, whatever it is. Like you get in weird. And at the time you're like, I am so like I'm getting out of the car. I'm walking home or whatever. You make stupid decisions, or I'm gonna drive home drunk, or I'm gonna do this. And then like always the next day, if you do something stupid and you say horrible things and you get away with it, and you wake up the next day and you wake up and you're like, what the was I really that mad about why she said that? I was willing to risk everything because of that. Like at the moment though, you're like, it's the worst thing ever. But the next day you're like, oh my God. Oh, thank God. Thank God this or that didn't happen. Like that is sometimes when you're really, really mad, you just have to honestly, and this is like redundant so many levels because people say, oh, stop and take a deep breath and count to 10.
Count to 10.
It's simple, and I'm sorry, and it's like a cliche. But if you do that and it's like, oh my God, it's not that big of a deal. Calm down. Okay. What am I doing? All right, I'm sorry. Or whatever. Like so many stupid mistakes happen because of you're in the moment and you're drunk and you're emotional. And then the next day you're like, that was the dumbest thing ever. Why would I get mad at that?
Oh, God. That's good relationship advice. People need to hear that because I know of people who will get out of cars in traffic, Cam.
Oh, my parents used to do it. My dad, I used to see it as a kid with my mom and dad. Like, I just saw it a lot. They argued a lot about a lot of things. Listen, they had a good relationship. They lasted for a long time. But they would have these fights. And me and my brother would be very confused. And it was about nothing. It was about something in Thanksgiving dinner with the family, or something about something. And when we got older, it's about money. But like they'd freak out and it'd scare us. And the next day they'd hug. And I'm like, Jesus, like, okay, you're back together. It's like, why'd you freak out in the first place? Yeah,
you got to watch out for that. Sometimes if you go punch a pillow, that'll help you too.
Andy, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I'll show you, man. I'm getting a lot of messages from people all over in my DMs with stuff, and they are just telling me like they honestly put us on repeat. Like guys are going through. You know what I'm doing? Instead of like texting back, Andy, I'm like, okay, I have WhatsApp. So if you're in Canada or somewhere, like I can't, like it's hard to like text, and it's just you can't get the. So I've been talking to people on WhatsApp. Just I can't. I don't want to be overwhelmed with stuff, but like I've been doing that. There's a lot of people going through a lot of crazy shit. And
why don't you get your license? Why don't you get your marital?
What do you mean?
Education license?
My
like
what?
Your counseling license. You can counsel people. And then you can build them by the hour, Cam, and then you can.
Well,
it's like another career for yourself.
Well, I don't know if I can do that, but I'll just do it on here to support our fans. That like,
hey, I love that, man, because my DMs are open too, as you know, Cam.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just a lot. It's a good feeling, Andy. They want to put it on repeat, and I thought that was kind of cool, and I want to tell you that, so it's good. All good, baby. It's all good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No,
now I want to go on vacation.
Repeat. They want to hear it twice, and now they're sliding into my DMs probably as we speak.
Yeah,
as we speak,
and
slide on in.
Like
Cam.
scuba diving in like South Pacific with sharks. He's a Cape Cod. I'm getting sick of your Cape Cod stories, to be honest.
Yeah, when the humpback whale almost lands,
that ain't that big of a deal. It ain't that big of a deal to see a whale. Just so you know, it's not.
People told me it was on their bucket list,
dude. Okay, all right. Just saying.
So I just crossed off something that's on a lot of people's bucket list. I'm seeing wild whales in the middle of the sea. How do the people who are driving these boats How do they know where they're going? Like, how do you not get lost? Like, I can't even figure out my way to get from here back to the beach where I have to go when I'm done with you, my kids and my wife.
They got navigation, Andy. They got navigation. But the interesting thing is, back in the day, like those fishermen out there, man, those guys, I just, that's hardcore. Being on the sea, fucking grinding every day, no matter what the weather is, you got to go out there and you got to do your thing, and you got to bring home the bacon for your family, and you don't know what the hell you're going to expect. And you gotta figure it out. And even like before really technology hit and navigation and stuff like that, those fishermen are so damn smart. They know how to react to the sky. They can predict the weather. They know they're on top of everything. Do you know how to get out of jams? There's always something going wrong with the boat. They got to fix something. Like, okay, get a good captain. Always make sure everything's good. You're always like surround yourself with hardcore, maybe uneducated, but God damn it, they know that sea. They know that boat. They know on the drop of a hat, I got to fix this. This is do or die. Those fishermen, and you should go walk around and maybe like when you go to a bar tonight or something, like find a local cool like pub where all the shit-kicking fishermen go and go pick their brain. Those are the stories I want to hear. Not your fancy pussy. I've been talking to that pussy boys. Andy's finding all the wealthy people like, hi, I'm cool. Find the shit kickers and talk to them.
I've been talking to them quite a bit, actually.
You're probably like, I bet you here's Andy. He walks by, he sees a fisherman, he's like, grabs the kids, like, come over here. Don't look at them. We're above them. Good God. Go to a good old bar. Go to a good, like, blue collar bar and talk to some of the locals in the blue collar area.
They want me to move here. They all know me walking around town right now, Cam. Right, so we've been having lots of conversations. You know what I've really gotten into, which I didn't think I would. But my wife is so into it. She keeps taking me to all these, these lighthouses, dude. They're from like 1700s. When you read what the lighthouse is all about, dude, this lighthouse I saw yesterday in Nantucket, right when you pull into Nantucket. I was in like a 36-footer yesterday. Right when Polaris. You ever been one of those? You ever been one of those? You ever been? Well, maybe probably bigger than that. You ever been in a Polaris?
What, a jet ski?
It was a jet boat. Is what it was, man. Very, Polaris? Very fast.
That's like what? Yeah. That's like
blacked out, tinted windows. Okay. But they had a lighthouse there, Cam, that was from like the 1700s.
Yeah, dude. Those saved a lot of lives.
Yes, they did. So that's how I was going to tell you back in the day, talking to that's how they found where they were going. They got to look.
Dude, those things been around for thousands of years. Lighthouses. You got to navigate these ships, man. You have to find a way. They have to have some sort of guidance. Whenever the fucking fog's coming in, the waves are going crazy. Like, where are we at? There it is. There it is. You can finally see it. Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I love reading books about fishermen. I love reading old tales about shipwrecks or survival on the water. The ocean is so scary. It's so intimidating. You have to respect it, man. You have to respect the ocean so gosh dang bad. Just like when you're here in the middle of Missouri. You respect the rivers here. Those rivers will fucking get you too. In a different kind of way. Yeah. I'm a river guy. These sailors are so interesting to me. But Andy doesn't give a shit. They're too poor for him. He only hangs out with the wealthy folk.
Evander Kane is no longer with the Hockey Diversity Alliance anymore. He has withdrawn his name from the group to the point where he even put out a press release to let everyone know that he's no longer with them. And in doing so, it's like, I always love the press releases when it's like, I am going to be very respectful and be very professional in terms of how I deliver this press release, but then I'm going to like take some shots at the same time. It's like I have loved everything they were all about and what they're doing, but I am no longer with the HDA because of this guy, and that guy has like alternative motives and is all about himself, and he's gone away from it. It's like, whoa, okay, this press release just took a complete, it's like a left turn, man.
What did he say exactly?
I've got a statement right here in my hand.
Go ahead, man.
I can read it to you. After careful consideration, I will be stepping away from the Hockey Diversity Alliance. Kane wrote in his statement. 3 years ago, along with fellow founders, the Hockey Diversity Alliance was formed with its primary purpose to rid the game we all love of racism and inspire a new diverse generation of players and fans. In its early days, the impact and the role of the HDA was significant. Unfortunately, now this is when he starts he's very professional. He's just saying he's stepping away, and we're all wondering, well, why are you stepping away? Well, this is where all of a sudden the press release, Cam, just takes a dramatic turn. Unfortunately, now this is Evander Kane's words here. My greatest concerns about our organization have come to fruition, and the HDA is now being led and influenced by members with individual agendas. There has also been a combative approach with other organizations and groups that have embarked on similar goals. This is a method I do not support.
So what do you think he's talking about?
So now they came back with their statement too, the HDA. And they had to respond to it. Like Akeem Alou and all those guys, our boy Chris Stewart, Wayne Simmons. They got a number of good guys on this with this organization. HDA says Evander Kane has not been involved with HDA for more than 2 years, the statement read. When he declared bankruptcy in January 2021, he was automatically disqualified from serving as a director of the HDA pursuant to the provisions of the Canadian Not-for-Profit Corporations Act. Cam, are you familiar with that?
I don't know.
So he was disqualified from serving as a director of the HDA pursuant to the provisions of the Canadian Not-for-Profit Corporations Act, which statute governs the HDA. Since then, he has not attended meetings. They said, we are surprised by today's statement and unfounded reference to personal agendas, but we wish Evander Kane well and thank him for his role in starting our organization.
Oh, well, Kaner looks like a jackass on this one.
You
Kind of. If he wasn't a part of it for the past 2 years, and all of a sudden he's like, you know what, I'm going to make a statement now and get attention. Mm-hmm. Basically, that's what it makes it sound like. I kind of want to know more details. Like, if he hasn't been a part of it, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm getting away from this. Well, you haven't even been at the meetings or anything. So he looks goofy, in my opinion.
Well, the one thing I've learned about the HDA and some people that are in the HDA is that they don't tend to hold back when they get upset about something. So I feel like maybe they won't hesitate to unleash if necessary and, get into specific detail as to maybe what happened or what the relationship was truly like between Evander Kane and the actual organization. I mean, listen, man, the concern I do have, and I've said this before, is that you have the HDA and then you have other groups who are essentially trying to do the same thing, which is making the game more diverse and making it more inclusive and making it more, a safer environment for those of color, right? I mean, when you think about the HDA, what they talked about in the past, what they want to accomplish, you've got other organizations that are working directly with the National Hockey League. You got like PK Subban in a group. You have, I want to say Ryan Reeves is involved with that. Jamal Mayers, a former player, is involved. You got a number of other different players. Anson Carter is involved with that group that's directly tied to the league. I just feel like if we're all out to accomplish the same thing, I think at some point everybody's got to collectively come together for the greater good. And you can't have organizations that are out to achieve similar goals fighting with one another, Cam, and not agreeing. And, then it just kind of cheapens what the actual, objective is, which is to make the game safe for everybody, including those who are minorities. So listen, Evander Kane always kind of came across to me, though, Cam, as a guy who is what he's accusing others of, which is having personal agendas, kind of looking for, attention, personal attention, maybe separating himself from the organization. If you remember when this organization was first announced, Evander Kane, he wouldn't do any interviews or anything unless it was with ESPN. He was like, I'll go on ESPN. I'll go on ESPN. And he was like the face of the organization, doing all the big, interviews on the national platform on ESPN. And then when he had the issues with the ex-wife or the baby's mama or whatever, who were making these accusations about him publicly, the bankruptcy issues, that's when all that shot down. And, he was trying to, figure out where he was going to play. He ended up signing, obviously, with Edmonton, all that stuff. So, then all the attention kind of stopped and he wasn't getting a ton of it. If you remember, he was doing all those ESPN interviews and stuff. So,
yeah, no, again, he looks goofy in this situation. If you're not part of something for 2 years, those guys are all doing their thing and you're just, and then all of a sudden you have to make a statement. And again, like it wasn't a statement like, hey, I'm stepping away. Like he kind of dug into a couple of different things and put them on the spot.
Just say you're stepping away. If you feel
like
it's
just
even
don't say anything
necessary
and no
to
one
make us
cares.
Nobody cares if you're involved or not.
No one.
Okay.
No one's asking about it. No one even knows. And you're not even a part of it. He's an attention seeker, dude.
Yeah.
What's it like to stay? Go play, man. You got so much shit. Like, why even cause attention? Now you're getting like your own like group of people that you guys are all supposed to be together. You know, you went through hard times growing up, whatnot, and now you're like, hey, we're just gonna dig at him a little bit here. Why would you do that? I don't know. I don't understand him.
Well, who's giving these guys advice? And you know what? Who's stopping you from helping minority organizations and minority individuals? Evander, I'd love to bring you to St. Louis, man. I will take you to minority neighborhoods, man, who need some help and who could use help. I will take you there, okay? And
Andy will take you to North City and show you around. You guys will be dead by morning. Are you kidding? They'll rob you so fast, Andy. That's funny.
No.
Yeah, have Andy take you to Martin Luther King Boulevard down in North City. Go talk to people.
Hey, did you see what Brent Sopel said about Trevor Zegras?
No.
You didn't.
I was hosting parties all weekend, man.
He made a comment. It was on somebody's podcast, and I apologize for not naming which podcast with old people. Hey, the Cam's having like the old folks home. You know how they go out like and they take a bus and they maybe go to a movie or ice cream or go to like a baseball game. They took the band. They all hopped in the bus and they went to Cam's house for barbecue.
Well,
and
my wife's dad's getting old and he's slowing down big time, and his brothers are getting old and they're slowing down big time. So Kate and I wanted to put probably the last party they're ever going to have together before they pass away.
Don't make me feel bad about that.
And then
don't make me feel bad.
The last time they got, I had to help them up the stairs. They were so exhausted, but they had they laid on our couch. I have a picture of them all together, all four brothers, and they're all like eyes are closed with like, it was the sweetest thing in the world, man. That's the last time they're ever going to golf together. So we had to put that in. My bad.
You think
Sorry
it's
about
the last time? Hey,
yeah, they came and walked, dude. They barely made it through. Kate had to like have me like go take him and help him. I had to get him an AC quick. I had to start the car. I had to help him in the car. We did a good thing.
Okay,
man.
well, I feel terrible now.
And then we're not
sorry
taking that out either, Brody. So don't even tell Andy.
No, edit. Take that out.
He needs a wake up call once in a while.
Take that.
I get him all the time. Andy will make himself out to be a victim all the time. So once you fuck up, I gotta just we gotta keep this in there. It's all good, man. Yeah, it was like an old folks home. You're right, but I did a good deed. Kate and I did it, and her mom helped so much, and they finally got together and played their last round of golf together. So,
well, I think
sorry about that. I'm sorry. What?
I think it's great. I think it's great that you did that, Cam. For and I hope they're listening right now. And I think it's wonderful that you would step up to the plate for them.
There you go. Backtrack.
Okay, so Brent Sopel. He was on Chris Knuckles Nyland's podcast. We'll give Knuckles a big shout out.
Yeah.
He was asked to share his feelings on the changes that have been made to the game. He didn't pull any punches, Cam. He said, I hate it. That's what Sopel says, Cam. After pausing for a moment, he said, I care about the team. Selfish people is where you lose me, and that's what the game is. He said we would never, ever show up another team or an opponent the way these guys love to do it. You've got what's-his-face in Anaheim. I would take a two-hander right to his teeth and love every second of it. That's Brent Sopel, former Vancouver Canuck and Chicago Blackhawk.
Yeah, I know. I played against
him. I don't know who else he played for.
I played against him. I think calm down on that. I get crazy about things here and there, but you're not going to cross-check him right in the face. You guys totally did the same fuck shit. And although you had some heavies that fought each other and guys would probably cross-check you a little bit more back then, but guys showed off all the fucking time still too. Pavel Bure, I mean, they all did, doing crazy stuff. Yeah, like in the 90s they showed off. In the 2000s they showed off. 2010s they showed off. And they still show off to this day. Back in the...
Cam, you had Teemu Solani throwing his glove in the air and going down on one knee and like shooting it like it was a pigeon.
Taking a stick and throwing it around like all kind of Jaromir Jagr saluting to everybody. Like, come on. They all did it. Now, there's still like more guys that are going to like punch in the face for it or get pissed, or there might be more fights, but guys are doing the same thing. Look, I'm old school, man. I miss fights. I do. I miss like the killers. I miss like more emotion. But the game's good, and I do see a lot of old school cats like, I can't watch it. And maybe I get it here and there, but I still watch the game, and I'm old school hearted like you guys are, but I still enjoy it because I watch all the other sports because I'm forced to, and hockey's so goddamn cool. Like, it really is. Like watching the Stanley Cup Finals and the playoffs where, dude, guys are killing each other. Like, you didn't notice that? You didn't notice the emotion with Vegas and the Panthers? Where fucking Matthew Tkachuk got a sternum cracked like by a monster hit. Like guys were murdered. Barbie murdered Gudis. Gudis is murdering guys. Like you didn't notice that? This game is that soft you can't watch it. And Sopel, you ain't that tough, man. You're not gonna cross-check anybody in the face, especially if there's somebody next to him that will beat you up.
Yeah, listen.
But I will get him on the pod. He's supposed to be a good dude.
Oh, I get him on the pod. He's supposed to be a really good dude. But, like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Brent Sopel, not too long ago, was, doing camps and talking to kids about, like, mental health and all this type of stuff, Like, it can't be great for Trevor Zegras' mental health to be reading that all these, like, old-school vets want to bash his teeth in just because he tries to do some skill moves on the ice. Like, it's not cool. Like, relax. You don't have to take it to such a level. Because I want to see if you would actually do it if you're playing in today's game. Don't compare today's game to your game, even though it wasn't that long ago. Things have changed. And what kids are doing now, it's changed from when, you played. Even Matthew Tkachuk, man, he's like basically patting going between his legs and, putting it up top between his legs. That's a skillful move that sometimes it's the right move. He's one-time pucks between his legs from the high slot to score at the buzzer. One of the best goals I've ever seen in my entire life. Maybe the best goal ever. So, listen, I get it. Everyone wants to be crazy and, like, hate everybody. But to say you're going to bash this kid's teeth in because, he tries a trick shot here and there. Come on, dude. Relax.
I mean, look at who we just had Nicky Boy Foligno on. Look at his daddy. Daddy's jumping up and down like a psychopath. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference? Like just like guys are trying shit all the time. Stevie Savard back in the day, or Denis Savard. Steve Savard's a Channel 2 anchor here in St. Louis. Who,
used to be Channel 4,
or Channel 4, whatever it is. Great guy. But Denis Savard. How about the Spinorama shit? Like back in the 80s, they're probably like, what the fuck is this? Look at Gretter's doing behind the net, spinning around. Like all that. You look back at that and you're like, oh, that's not that big of a deal. Well, at the time, that was crazy. Bobby Orr even going coast to coast, holding the puck the whole time, going all the way around, coming back and holding it the whole time. Is that not showing off? He had the puck for 2 minutes. Like it's all evolves into different things.
Look, I mean, I don't see like Joe Montana coming out, Cam, and being like, well, Patrick Mahomes, have you tried that?
With his left hand.
I'd bash his teeth in. I'd knock his teeth out.
Exactly. No, dude. How's this, by the way? Again, Prince Sopel's supposed to be like the coolest guy. I've heard that from Billy, and I like to party with him and whatnot. But I'm sorry. We need craziness in the NHL. You want guys doing crazy stuff. That you want a guy saying a little bit, just a little bit loose talking. We make fun of these guys for being so fucking robotronic all the time. Finally, you got somebody that's kind of crazy. And he's like, I'm going to be cool. I'm going to do stuff. I'm going to get loud. Good. Be loud. Mm-hmm. Be loud. Now you might get chirped here and there, but like, be loud. The NHL needs that. Everybody's stiff. You got stiff. Everybody's stiff. Like, I'm going to do the right thing. No, sometimes be crazy a little bit. God damn.
And listen,
every other sport does it.
We've chirped him. Remember, he and
Yeah.
Terry, when they got into it, whatever, against Arizona in the crease.
God.
And they got attacked and all this stuff, and then they were complaining afterwards. So all I'm saying, man, like, pick on somebody else, dude. You're gonna pick out like a young star.
I get you, homie.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Like, they're trying to mold this kid, but he's got great personality. The league obviously loves him. And let me tell you this: as a guy who's got a kid who's a young hockey player coming up,
there
man,
it is.
Like, my kid loves McDavid. He loves Crosby. He loves Brad Marchand. He loves Matthew Tkachuk. But he also, and Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas, man, but he also loves Trevor Zegras, dude, because they watch all this shit. So to say you want to bash his teeth in, man, I mean, you could just say, listen, I remember when, like, Chris Pronger even saying, hey, listen, if somebody tried the Michigan on me when I'm on the ice, I'm probably going to two-hand him across the wrist, because that's what Pronger would do. And I get that, he's playing hard. But I don't see Pronger coming out being like, I'd knock his teeth out, bash his teeth out.
Well,
you get a little much.
You'd get a 5-game suspension. You want to do that. You might knock his teeth out, but he might break his jaw.
Yeah. Speaking of mental health and all that, man, we've got Corey Hirsch on this edition of the Cam Strick podcast. Man, this guy was so good. This conversation is unbelievable. And we've had some good ones, and they're all different.
Yeah.
And they all kind of take in like a different category. I mean, every interview can kind of be put in a different, class. This one is almost in a class of its own, although we've had other interviews that are similar. I think people are going to sit back and they're going to be glued to this conversation, man. It's just good. It's one of those that just kind of keeps you locked in, Cam.
Oh, dude, he was awesome. I don't know him that well. And I listened to a couple of interviews, but I didn't really understand his personality yet. And once he started talking to us right off the bat, remember, you know how I look at you, right? When we get a guy on and we know he's cool. Like, we know, not just like, we know he's our personality to talk to, like, just like talks real. And I look at Andy like, okay, we got one. And he was fantastic. He was open about so many different things. I can relate to a lot of things he's talking about. He's doing good now. He's honest about it. You can just tell he's just free, man. He's happy. He's been through hell. He's got it pretty much under control, which is not an easy thing to do. Sometimes you relapse here and there. But when you started talking, I'm like, yeah, this guy's going to be great, and he's going to help a lot of people out. I tell him, Andy, it's a ton of messages, and I know you get them too. I know Brody gets them with the Cam Strick podcast. All the comments. There's a lot of people out there. They're going to really be able to relate to this, and he's easy to listen to. He's a normal guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember him calling me when he retired from coaching, being like, hey, I wanted to get into broadcasting. I've interviewed him before back when he was coaching, and I felt like he had a good future as a broadcaster because he was always a good talker. But now he's making a living, man, doing like public speaking, dude. Like, that's one of the best jobs you can find anywhere. You create your own schedule. You can make a lot of money doing public speaking. If you have a message that people want to hear, man, the people will hire you left and right.
Well, ask all the politicians that are retired or the presidents.
Well, there's a lot out here where I'm at. There's a lot over here where I'm at.
Yeah, damn right there are. But yeah, you're right. But you have to be good at it. And you have to be, your message has to be, like something people could relate to. And he certainly has that. And he's well-spoken and he's real. And that's a good combination. And he was great with us and we appreciate it. I'd like to talk to him a little bit more, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about a couple more things.
I might go into public speaking actually and talk about a few things.
I thought you were going to be a fisherman.
Well, today I am. I'm getting back on that water, man.
Andy's everything. Andy's a little bit of everything. He's a pro hockey player, fisherman. He's a hunter,
gatherer.
He's a musician.
Yes.
He's a traveler.
Mm-hmm.
He's a, sailor.
Gangster.
Straight up gangster. He's a tough guy.
Gangster rapper.
He's a rapper. You do a little bit of everything, Andy. I'm glad I'm associated with you.
Isn't that amazing?
It's nice.
Tarasenko still hasn't signed yet. When's your prediction of when he actually signs?
I have no idea. Probably in the next week.
Okay.
I would say. You would think so.
Yeah.
What's he
Go
doing? Just
know,
get
man.
settled. Hey, it's almost August, Tommy. Like, don't you want to like secure a place and be like your mind be normal? You're gonna be in a hotel, then you gotta move the kids, and they're like, what do I do? How do I know the city? I gotta talk to I don't know.
I just think his initial response to the market was like, I'm not signing for that. I'm not signing for only a year. I'm not signing for just 1 or 2 years. I'm not signing for just 4.5, 4 million, 5 million, whatever the number was.
Yeah,
I'm Vladimir Tarasenko. So I'm not signing for that. And then now here you are several weeks later and you still haven't signed. Listen, I've been in communication with some that would certainly be in the know, and just it's a process. It's a process. When nobody has money and you're a little stubborn, it's a process. So I'm curious, just like everybody else, to see this kind of come to a conclusion, Cam.
I know, and he's been kind of off and on too with his play, and it's not like he's been very consistent in the last 3 years. He's had one good year where he counted on himself, and he went through hell with the Blue, or not hell, but like he kind of put himself in a jam. But then he had a great year, and then he didn't have a good year, and then in the playoffs he was kind of silent. So now he's like, well, I'm still Vladimir Tarasenko. Well, people are like, well, there's other people out there, and we don't have that much money.
Right.
So you better say yes to something.
Yeah.
And get
especially if you're going to be selective and you only want to play for what you would consider a team that has a chance to win. I know he's had conversations with players on certain teams that have shown interest. And one of the questions that he asked these players are you guys committed to winning? So that obviously is of utmost importance to Tarasenko, in addition to what that, dollar figure looks like, baby. Yeah. And how many terms are on the table. Is the team in position to win? He's hanging out at, Ivan Barbashev's cup party. He wants another taste, man, of winning. And I get that. But when a winning team puts something on the table in day one and you just automatically assume that something better is going to come your way, it just doesn't always play out that way. So you can never predict.
I like what Barbie did with his cup party, though. Rented a yacht. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I thought I'd see him on the water, but I haven't gone down that far south, Cam.
Well, that's about 1,000 miles south, probably.
Yeah, I know. But like those
and he thinks he's everywhere. And he thinks like Cape Cod is like he's like traveling the pyramids. He's fucking skiing in the Alps. He's down with Barbie on a yacht. Like you're at a house in Cape Cod, and you're spending a lot of money. I'm getting sick of this stupid trip you're on, to be honest with you. I'm sick of hearing about it. Don't even talk about it anymore. It ain't that cool.
The boating community.
I'm done here. No. I'm done hearing about it. And I think everybody else is too. Like, fuck, there's probably guys in fucking visiting like some temple in the middle of the jungle, eating ayahuasca. And you're like with your family in fucking Cape Cod, going to a restaurant, everybody like a tourist restaurant, and then bragging about it for 15. Like looking at a whale, like that's a once in a lifetime. No, it's not. Whales are everywhere. Good God.
Not.
Yes, they are.
I was in the wild.
No, you weren't.
I was in the wild. And those of us
you
in the
need to go talk
community,
to them shit-kicking fishermen. You need to respect the goddamn fishermen.
Those of us in the sailing community.
The people that keep all that alive. Like the fishermen. The fish that you eat. The only thing that you eat ever is fish. Why don't you go shake one of their hands? Go to one of their pubs and talk to them. Instead of these fancy lad bitches that are showing their money off and talking about their portfolio. And Andy's trying to keep up with them. Go hang out with some shit kickers. Keep this world
Those
moving.
of us in the yachting community, we kind of speak the same language as one another. I will say this before we get to the interview. Lobster rolls, completely overrated. The most overrated thing I've ever eaten. It was damn good, but super overrated, Cam. You ever had a real lobster roll?
If you're from Newfoundland or Nova Scotia, when you're poor, you eat lobster. When you're wealthy, you have ham and cheese. So you know. Ask Colin White, my boy. Badass shit-kicking son bitch. He ate lobster as a poor boy. He's fucking blue-collar son of a bitch. He ate lobster every day. You're like, whoa, good for you. No. Lobster was fucking abundant up there. You have a ham and cheese. That's what the wealthy folk ate.
Really?
Yes.
I saw a couple lobster boats on the water too, Cam. It's interesting how
hard-
they go. Yeah.
Dude, they're all hardcore, man. Fishermen. God, it's a tough job, dude. It is a damn tough job.
How do you get into it? Because people are asking me
You're
now, like,
born
how do you
into
get
it.
into it?
Well,
Are
you because, man, like, you're on the East Coast, dude. Like, fishermen have been going strong for 1,000 years, dude. Everywhere,
Yeah.
thousands of years. Like, you just,
Mhm.
it's just, there's food in that hardcore water. You pray
Yeah.
every time you go out, dude. These guys probably hunker together and pray every gosh damn day just
Yes,
to go
they
on the
do.
water. They're like, let's go. Make sure every time Andy goes to the rink and he thinks it's hardcore, he's got to interview the coach, or he's got to interview a sponsor about their sponsor, or like something or something. These guys had to go out in the water, and their wives and their family are like, please be safe. Please make it home. Every goddamn day. They have to find their quote. They got to get it. You never know when that weather's going to turn, dude. What's going to happen to that boat, that old boat you've had for 40 years?
You're telling me the fishermen and the sailors, the guys who go out there and they collect the trout, they collect the tuna, they collect the lobsters, the skatefish. There's all different types of fish that are, around this neck of the woods. You're telling me that they like risk their lives by doing that every single day? Like, it's a dangerous, dangerous job.
I think fishermen's one of the most. I think crab fishermen is one of the most dangerous jobs because you're in a Bering Sea.
Really?
But the Atlantic is strong, dude. The Atlantic is scary, man. It's unpredictable. They'll get you,
Yeah.
Being a
Well, let's get
fisherman's
to
tough.
Corey Hirsch, man. Let's get
Yeah.
to Corey Hirsch, and we'll talk about this on the other side too, because I need to go check out the GPS and everything and see what the waters are looking like, because I got to get back out there shortly, Cam. So, I can see the conditions, see when the storm's coming in, when the sun's going to set, all of that. I see the rapids. I know exactly where to go. So next time you come out this way, I'll bring you out on the water, Cam, and we'll do some shit that you've never done before. I can promise you that. Okay, the Cam Strick Podcast, Cam, is brought to you by Hair Club and hairclub.com, baby. 800-279-7878. Check out Hair Club. Check it out today and ask about that pill. First Form and firstform.com, Cam. We've got our own link, by the way, firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Anybody who has bought something from First Form, first off, download the app and do all of that. Take your life to the next level. Take control of your life. Anybody who has purchased anything from First Form using our link, we thank you very, very much. Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Get everything you need right then and there, Cam.
You got to use our link. I'm telling you what, they got all kinds of different options. I just loaded up on, I look at their clothing line, their apparel, and I found some good zip up coats that just random, like they had new stuff going out, and I just grabbed a bunch of stuff. They got, it's all I wear. It truly is. It's all I wear. And I got, the beef sticks I have. The barbecue ones are the absolute best. Just so you guys know, it's an easy snack. You can put them in your golf bag. You can keep them in your car, whatever. Like they're just easy. Boom, 20 grams of protein, just like that. Love it. They all kinds of stuff. Check it out.
Just in case you didn't know, you should have 1 gram of protein to whatever your goal weight is. So if you want to get down to like 175 or 210, whatever it is, you should have 1 gram of protein per pound is essentially what it is, just in case you didn't know.
I'd say go on their app and listen to what the fuck they have to say, unless you want to look like Andy. And if you First Form, we were there the other day, and Andy's throwing around 25-pound weights, like it's just, it's all good, no big deal.
Cam,
but he's a healthy guy. Yeah, it's all good.
I was very sore the next 3 days, actually.
I bet you were.
I'm gonna go back there when I get back in town too. I'm looking forward to get a little workout in there with First Form Nick, who can tell you everything you need to know. You can have a life coach just like Nick. Get on their app and get on it today. First Form, firstform.com/Cam and Strick. That is the link. Again, firstform.com/Cam and Strick. All right, Illinois Recovery Centers, Cam. We call it IRC, don't we? Illinois Recovery Center, the new premier inpatient substance abuse facility in Swansea, Illinois. And now, Cam, when it comes to the disease of addiction, getting help should not be as difficult as it currently is. You know that. The IRC, Illinois Recovery Center, their mission is to be the receiving hand when somebody is seeking help. And the IRC delivers a comprehensive system of care that welcomes both the individuals struggling as well as the families. Because, Cam, as we know, it's not just about the individual struggling. It impacts a lot of people besides yourself, right?
It impacts everybody.
Yes.
It's so horrible for your family. You don't even realize it until you realize it and you wake the fuck up. And it's hard to wake up. Chrissy Pondoff's my buddy, man. I was out there the other day. Swansea, Illinois. This place is lovely. The beds are beautiful. They look like hotel beds. Everything's green. It's just a beautiful place to be. The people that own it, that run it, I am telling you, have been through hell before. They know exactly what you're going through. They will help you every step of the way. It is, and listen, they will, again, with the payment plans and all that stuff, they do not want an empty bed in that place. They don't. They'll bring people on from wherever. It doesn't matter. It's not like you're going to Hollywood and hanging out and costing you out the ass. They'll take care of you there. They're great people, and I'm telling you, they got a big gym. It's just like the windows are big, little things like that. When you're stuck in that environment and you are in the depths of hell mentally, like you little things help. Little things help your mindset, meaning being able to look out the window and seeing greenery and seeing just like a little meadow and stuff like that, having a gym to work out in, having beds that seem like your bed at home. Little things like that add up. They're great people. They're doing a hell of a job out there. Illinois Recovery Center. Check it out. I'm telling you, don't wait. You are affecting everybody it affects everybody in your family. It truly does. And if you're into it, you don't even know. You don't even know what's going on until you get that wake-up call.
You know, windows are very important, Cam, for that natural light. Natural light is part of healing.
It is.
You heal with natural sunlight. You heal with it.
Listen,
we have our own phone number for the IRC. So if you're going to call them up, use this number, if you don't mind, 888-743-0971. 888-743-0971. Call the IRC today, Illinois Recovery Center. And if you want to get in touch with our boy Chrissy Pondoff or Erik, you want to talk to them personally, we can make that happen too.
Erik Conley, awesome guy. Again, they've both been through hell. So if you know, you know. All you guys messaging me, I love it, man. I'll get you on WhatsApp if you're in Canada or you're in Sweden or what the fuck ever. I'll get you. Trust me. Check this place out. Check it out. I know. I know it's a tough situation, but just look at it and just read up on what's going on. And it keeps sending me messages about stuff, man. I'll help you guys out.
Yes. Send me messages too, and I can get you in touch with the right people.
Yeah.
And if
you
want
had
to
a
know
beer the other day, he'll tell you about alcoholism. He'll let you know. And you know what? You can't even talk to your friends about it, because if your friends haven't gone through it, they're like, "Just suck it up, man. Just suck it." No, it's not. It doesn't work.
They do say that, but I will say this: I can certainly get you in touch with the right people. You know that.
Yeah, I know. Well, I can too.
Yeah, I know that.
My
DMs are always open, and so are my cameos. Actually, my cameos are on sale. Did you just get bit by a giant ant?
No,
I got the world's biggest ants. The world's biggest ants are in my Airbnb. Should I complain to the guy, or is that bad to do?
No,
the owner of the house.
You're okay. You're right.
Laurie's like, you need to email him and text him and tell him what's going on. I'm like, I don't really know what to say.
Yeah. The house looks nice, dude. Don't bitch about everything.
All right. I'm not going to bitch about your roof, because, listen, if you're bitching about your roof, we've been telling you about Tesson Roofing, and it's time to make a change and to improve that roof. Here's how it works. Over time, the oils and the asphalt shingles, they evaporate. They dry out. It leaves them less flexible, Cam, and they become brittle and lose their protective granule coating. Did you know that?
Dude, the storms are wicked here in St. Louis, and they're getting worse and worse. For some reason, it's getting so hot, and all of a sudden you'll get a headwind of 70 miles an hour. Shit's going on your roof. Stuff's tearing it apart. Flooding's happening. Your roof's getting just shit on left and right. You got to call Tesson Roofing. They are the real deal. They'll come out there. They're in sync with all the insurance companies. I'm telling you right now, man, just get it done. Get it done now. They'll work their ass off for you.
They are a preferred insurance company, preferred provider. So if you're, listen, They're in with all the insurance companies.
All of
but
them.
I'm telling you, listen, they can do all different type of roofs. In all seriousness, all different types of roofs. Commercial roof, residential roofing, as we know. But this greener shingles rejuvenator, Cam, I had it done to my house. It saves you money off your bills, but also by preserving these oils that I talked about within the shingle composition, it'll add an impressive 5 years to the longevity with each application. I mean, so you don't have it. Listen, take care of it so you don't have to end up taking care of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, take care of it
now.
so you don't have to take care of it. You understand what I mean by that, Cam?
Yeah, Andy, just get it dwhen I'm telling you.
No. When I say take care of it so you don't have to take care of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We heard
okay.
you.
All right, just making sure you know what I mean. Bellman and Bellman.com, baby. BEHLMANN, Cam. At Bellman, you get no what?
Swinging dicks. None. I'm driving a badass Jeep right now. I got a new one, they gave me. It's the what the fuck is it? It's got 37-inch wheels on it. It's huge. It's like a big Hummer. It's quite nice, man. I think it's hold on, let me look at my backyard. Oh, the Mojave. But with the big lifted kit on it. So it's got all the bells and whistles. So it's like a big Hummer. But it's a Jeep. It's got a small engine in it. But the tires are so big, I just want to go off-road all the time, dude. It's pretty cool. Well, hobby.
You know what I call that when you go off-roading, Cam? I told you before.
Mudding?
Mudding, baby. That's what we call it back where I grew up. You go mudding.
Yeah. Creep door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was back in the day.
I know you grew up in Andy has a couple trees in his backyard. He grew up in the woods.
We used to play manhunt back in the day. You hide in the woods. You got to go find the guy. Manhunt, baby. Yeah, you done that. I did grow up in the woods. Bellman and Bellman.com. You got Buick GMC on one side of the street, guys. This is all in Troy, Missouri. And then on the other side, you have Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. So there are options for everybody. Say hi to Dale.
Hey, Dale.
I'll give a real shout out to Danny Boy, though, man. Say what's up,
Danny. What up, homie? What's up, baby?
What's up, baby? Is that what you said? What's up, baby?
What up, homie?
What's up? What about the Kenny?
Kenny.
Bellman and Bellman.com, baby. BEHLMANN.com. Get yourself some new wheels. Listen, fall's going to be here before you know it. Winter's going to be here. You're going to have some terrible conditions. So make sure you got the right vehicle to get you through it. Again, anybody with bad credit, doesn't even matter, man. They take care of everybody. Dan Bellman is the absolute man. We love the Bellman family. All the support we get from them, and we've gotten since day one here on the Cam Strick podcast. All right. You want to hear a great interview? Buckle up, sit back, and relax. If you didn't have a ton of respect for Corey Hirsch before, you certainly are going to have a ton of respect for him now. Check this out. Enjoy this interview. Corey Hirsch now, baby, on the Cam Strick podcast. Hairclub.com, baby.
Oh, you're damn right.
Go to our landing page today, hairclub.com/Cam and Strick. Regrow, restore, and replace that hair.
Don't wait.
Now to the interview.
Hershey. What up, man?
What's going on?
Hershey, can we get something straight real quick, please?
What do you got?
Your hockey DB, it's not making any sense because as Blues goalie coach, it says 10, 11, then 13, 14. Did you take 2 years off and come back, or is that wrong?
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, I thought
I was there for 4 years.
Yeah. So
yeah,
because my first year doing on the TV side, you were like the goalie coach. I remember you wandering around the hotel looking for a chocolate bar at 2 in the morning.
We've all been there, man.
So
Cam was 2 in the morning.
Cam was like, God, I don't remember him being the goalie coach when I was there. And I'm like, well, I don't think he was when you were there. That's probably why.
They lied to me. They confused
I love
me.
it.
Yeah, so you got.
I love it.
So I know that guy that runs that. We may have to get that corrected on your hockky DB. They only have you credited for 2 years with the Blues. Come on, now. 4 years, baby.
There's a couple I'd like to forget.
What do you mean? With Yarrow?
No, we were good. Yeah, Yarrow. Exactly.
Does Yarrow send you a Christmas card?
I don't know. When I see him, he's like my best friend, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
Well, he appreciates you. Appreciates you.
Oh, my God.
Where are you at? You up in Vancouver? Are you looking
I'm
at the
Vancouver.
mountains right now? What's out your window?
So I'm in Vancouver. I can see. I live like near the Rogers Arena. I live like right at the towers, Rogers Arena. So I'll typically see a lot of people that roll through here because everyone stays. You guys, I don't know if you guys stay at the JW Marriott when you come here, Strick.
It was a waterfront.
It was
wasn't
always the Bayshore,
Bayshore
the Western
waterfront.
Bayshore.
Yeah.
But so I don't know.
Because so now there's the JW Marriott. It's right at like BC Place. It's right there.
Okay.
So I live right near there. It's beautiful. It's beautiful today. So.
Do you ski?
Nice day.
Do you ski in the
What's
mountains?
that?
Do you ski in the mountains? Are you a skier?
Do I ski? Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? I've been going up to Whistler probably the last 2-3 years. That was the best thing about retiring from hockey.
I know, man. I need to get into it. It's dangerous though.
But once you go up at Whistler, it's like you can't ski anywhere else. You're like, this isn't a mountain.
Hershey. I went
It's
to
incredible.
Whistler.
Yeah, I heard.
Did
It's
you
awesome.
do the take the peak to peak gondola, the scariest gondola in the world? Dude, we got stuck on there right in the middle.
Oh God.
And the cars on those gondolas, they're bigger than most.
Wind started coming.
These guys who didn't speak any English were on there with their big old like cameras, and they're walking around, and it's like shaking. And I was like, "Oh my God, you got to sit down. You got to sit down. Please."
I can't do that.
Yeah. So
No, I'd be freaking out.
Hey.
I'd be like, and so you're just hanging there in between the mountains?
hanging
Yeah. But it's enclosed.
for like 7 minutes.
Wow.
Scariest
Are
thing
you,
I've ever
are
done.
you good on planes, Hershey? Do planes kind of screw you up?
No, I'm all right on planes. I used to not like flying when I was younger, but then you fly so much you don't have a choice. We used to have our own plane with Vancouver. So I used to go sit up with the pilots all the time.
Yeah, I think that helps.
Yeah, and I used to sit beside Mogilny on the plane. And he was terrified.
Really?
It was like, oh my God. Yeah, he'd white knuckle it the whole way, and then he would go sit up with the pilots. So then I would go up there every once in a while too. And once you learn how those things fly, it's like, I still don't get it, but it makes a little more sense.
Listen, wouldn't you be more scared to be up by the pilot, like looking out the cockpit, out the window? I'd be like, that would make me more terrified.
Well, it's because I always thought there's chaos going on in the cockpit because the doors were closed. So you go up there, they're having a nap.
I know. Autopilot.
I know they are.
They're having a nap, and it's exactly, a coffee, hanging out.
Yeah, they got the best seats. It's chilling. It's kind of if you really think about it, flying's somewhat easy. If you talk to the pilots, you just got to know your groove, and if the weather's okay, you're going to be just fine. But Almo, I played with Almo too, and he was the greatest guy. So he'd just sit there like white knuckle, trying to read a magazine, shaking a little bit, right, talking about money.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, he used to sit beside him. He was a terrible flyer. I think in Buffalo, he actually drove to some games when he played there.
Really?
Yeah. I think
Toronto?
the story is that he didn't. Yeah. He didn't do that in Vancouver, but again, we had our own plane, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, he did not like flying. I didn't really like it at the start either. But you fly so many miles, and you just get used to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get you.
I know, man. I've noticed that. Like a lot of people who fly nonstop, they're very calm. When I feel turbulence, man, I get a little nervous. What are you doing? Are you still broadcasting with the Canucks? Is that what you're doing right now, or are you not doing that?
No, I'm doing so. I stepped away from that last year for the first year of my life. Like I wasn't in hockey because I went and I do the public speaking now. So I speak on mental health and have a book out and all that stuff. So that's pretty much what I've been doing.
How often are you speaking? Like how many gigs do you have? Like a year, a month?
It depends. Like right now, the summer is dead. Like I got 1 or 2 coming up, but September, I've got 7 or 8 talks.
So how do you prepare for that? Like how long do you have to talk? And are you talking at conventions,
Yeah. How's the audience?
work retreats, college teams? Like who are you talking to?
I'll talk to anybody who'll listen to me.
Yeah.
Talking to you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys, aren't I?
Oh,
Except we're not paying you $10,000.
I know.
No, I caught in with the construction industry, the oil and gas up here, out west. And it's a lot of that, a lot of guys, a lot of that tough, mentality you grow up. So same as in the locker room, right? So I kind of caught in there, and I go into these construction sites, and I'll go and I'll talk to their workers, and I've talked to as many as probably 1,500 at one point, and then I've gone in right into base camps like up northern BC, and it's been really cool. It's been eye opening. Let's put it that way. But there's no better feeling than when you're helping somebody, right?
Oh yeah, man.
It's yeah.
I get you on that. So what do you got? Is it the same speech? Are you just like bullet points down,
Pretty much.
and you're like, okay, I can veer off here and there, but it's basically the same speech over. I get you.
Well, what I do is, I go in, I tell a little bit of my story, and then I do a lot of education stuff, like what was missed with me, what you can see in your kids, all that stuff. Like I do a lot of that, but it's not. I just don't go in there tell my story. Everybody feels sorry for Corey, and let's go home. It's like no. It's like I use it as an educational thing where we're teaching people what to look for and signs and all that stuff, and just erasing the stigma that we have.
Yeah.
So that's really what it kind of it is, and it's mainly the same talk. But it's like I said, it's been pretty rewarding in those terms.
Listen, it's become like a popular thing, almost commercialized, really. Like, that one day a year where everybody in Canada tweets out "Bell, let's talk."
Yeah.
It's like putting out the flag on 4th of July. It's like, and then you take it. It's like, okay, so listen, I want people to truly believe the message behind it, that they truly are putting their walking the talk, if you will. Like, do you feel like hockey in general has made real positive strides, and like teams in general have made positive strides with helping people and helping players? Like, where do you think we're at right now in the National Hockey League with that?
I think the league tries, and I think teams try, but players are still reluctant to use the systems that they have in place. Right?
Are the systems good enough?
Are the systems good enough anywhere? Yeah. They're really not.
Okay.
That's a big part of the problem. But players, there's just so much. You need to teach them to be able to go independently themselves, right? If they want to get help, because you've got $7 million on the line. Your coach has got his job on the line. You've got 3 guys, behind you trying to take your job. Guys aren't willing to kind of come forward, right? So you have to kind of teach them how to get their own help, like almost an independent party. But how do you do that? Like, what is the answer? I don't know. I wish I could say that, if I was a player, I'd be the first to put my hand up. I still don't think I would be, and that's not, it's the stigma of mental health. It's not even the way, the league has done a lot for it, but it's just something that we have to kind of change, and that's what I'm out here trying to do. I'm trying to change that for everybody. And we've all played with players, like we've all played with somebody or seen somebody we know is struggling. The numbers are 1 in 5. I think they're more like 3 or 4 and 5.
So you think now, but like back in '94 when you first talked to your trainer and he was shocked. Like, do you think if somebody did that now and said, "God, I got these fucking thoughts in my head," if they did that to a current trainer now, you think he would understand it a lot more than you did? Maybe one would. In
yeah, way more compassionate.
Oh, absolutely, they'd be a lot better with it. No question, they would be. But at the end of the day, can you still trust them to not, use it against you?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's still a business. You're right.
That's ultimately, that's what we need to change, because you're a better player after you get help. If you're playing in the NHL now and you're that good and you have mental health issues, just think how good you're going to be when you get that player help, right? So,
we're gonna dive into your story, but let me ask you this: after you asked for help, do you feel like that helped your career, or did that hurt your career? Because you're playing a lot of games, and then after you asked for help, you didn't play a whole lot of NHL games after that. Do you think that was used against you?
Yeah, no, you know what? There's a lot more to that too, though. Like, I didn't play a lot after that, but I also didn't disclose what I'd had, right? Like, they just knew I went for help.
Okay.
And then after that, I wasn't telling anybody what I was diagnosed with, right? so there's a little bit of both sides of that, but yeah, I mean, I barely played in the NHL, and there's some other factors in there too. I mean, goalies got a lot bigger. I didn't,
No shit, they did.
But,
what are you 5'11"?
5'10". Yeah.
Wow.
So
And the equipment got smaller too, didn't it? Goalies got bigger.
Smaller.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a lot of factors, but I mean, like I was on a pretty good tear. Like I was on the NHL rookie team, was playing really well. And then all of a sudden you can see where I get sick. You're like, my stats just drop right off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went from being on the NHL rookie team to not being able to play in the NHL. Right. Like, so that's the thing. Those are the things that we need to look out for. Like, you look at Huberdeau in Calgary, and I'm not saying there's a mental health. I'm not saying that. I'm saying something. You don't just drop off that many points. Like something is upsetting this guy, right? Like, and like I say, it's not. I'm not saying it's mental health. It's not, because it's not. But you don't just drop 50 points. Like there's something going on,
It's called Daryl
Sutter.
Exactly.
Hey.
I didn't want to say it.
We got you, homeboy.
I didn't want to say it.
We got you.
But Daryl, look, when you see those coaches now, okay, because Daryl Sutter, I mean, listen, he's had a lot of success, and I love the Sutter family, but
of course.
You hear stories of guys playing for him. It doesn't sound like a very pleasant experience for a lot of players. But you played for Keenan.
Yeah.
Was he a guy you look back on and like, did he just take you to a space, into a place where it just wasn't very good? Like what was your interaction in your relationship with him?
Well, so Mike, I liked Mike's philosophies on winning. Like I actually did.
Except when he pulled you.
Well, I mean, yeah. Don't get me started on that. But Mike could never help himself. He could never help himself from taking it one step further, right? Like he always just had to mess with you. Like he just couldn't leave well enough alone. I think then there was we had played one game. We were in Toronto, I believe, and he pulls Garcenyuk about halfway through the second period because he's like, he's trying to show Brian Burke, that he couldn't win with the players that he had, so he had to pull the goalie to try to score on Toronto. Like he pulled the goalie for our goalie for 5 minutes.
Oh, really? Like how much time was left in the game? Oh, in the second period?
I think it was like the second period. Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Like 5
That's
minutes.
kind of funny.
It is.
And then I remember there was a game in Detroit where Garcenyuk was making, he must have made 40 saves in the first two periods. We were up 1-0 going into the third. And then Detroit, gets going. They score a goal. They score 2 goals. Building's going nuts. The ice is tilted. And I've been sitting as the backup on the bench in old Joe Louis Arena. My skates are like rubbing on the bar stool that I'm sitting on. Like he's like, hey, taps me on the shoulder, get in there. So I promptly gave up 5 more. And we lost 7-2, I think it was. So yeah, that was Mike. But he just didn't know. He didn't know what he was going to do. He didn't know if he was going to throw you in the end or what. Like you just always had to be ready with him.
Hey, listen, we probably have had like 75 players who played for Mike Keenan on this podcast. We've had Keenan on.
Yeah.
Everybody has a story, and no story is the same.
No.
Hey,
everybody's got a different one.
Well, here I got another one for you. Yeah. So we went into St. Louis, and Mike was coaching for St. Louis. We beat St. Louis 8-0. And I think Keenan got fired like 2 days later or something.
Really?
Yeah. So
should have won 10-0 then.
I ended up getting a shutout that helped him to get fired so that he could come to Vancouver and get rid of me.
Oh, he was the coach of St. Louis at the time.
He was the coach of St. Louis.
I thought you meant when he was with Vancouver.
No, he had Fear. He had a pretty good team, really good team. But those guys at that point had quit.
Hey,
I think we beat them 8-0.
Did Almo step up to Keenan a lot in the locker room? Alexander Mogilny?
I mean, I'm sure you've heard the one story. Like, he left Alex alone. Like, he didn't say anything to Alex. And then all of a sudden, one time he's going around the room going at guys. And then he gets to Alex, and he starts in on Alex, and Alex is tying a skate, and he looks up and he says, "You think you fucking scare me? I've had people try to kill my family. Get the fuck out of here." And then so Keenan was like, that was it. That was the last time he ever went after Alex. That was the only thing Alex ever said to him. Like, Alex didn't say anything to anybody, which, you know, I don't know. I mean, what's your guys' take on him not being in the Hall?
Oh,
I was going to ask you. I've got it here in my world-class research that I've done.
Love that man.
And I was going to ask you what you think of it, because you're a teammate.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's the best player I ever played with.
Is he better than Bure?
I think so. Pav was electric. Like, Pav would bring you out of your seat. But Pav, I never saw Pav till after the game, right? Like, fuck, see him, he'd be up at the red line looking for goals. Like, Alex could do it all.
Yeah. Okay. That's
He could
interesting.
do it all.
Okay, let me ask you this, though, because you also played with Mark Messier. Did Messier get preferential treatment from Keenan? We've had people, I mean, Gino Ojic came on. And he was like, he didn't speak very highly of Mess. We haven't had many guys, I mean, he may be the only one that's really ever done that, but did you feel like as a teammate that Keenan favored Mark Messier?
Oh, they totally had a relationship, no question. Like, they had a relationship prior from New York, no question, which was going to happen. And then I think, you know, what happened when Mess came, and then Trevor gave him the C and all that, and it was just, and then, you know, they were trying to kind of break up the old boys club that had been in Vancouver for so many years and didn't win. Because you look at where Keenan goes, that's what he does, right? He makes an example of somebody, trades a bunch of guys. Like I said, the problem with Mike, though, is he couldn't stop himself from overdoing it. You know, so he gets in here, he trades Trevor, he trades, like, he was trading everybody. And then guys didn't want to play for him, and then guys kind of turned on Mess. But so I saw what Mess did in New York, though, right? So, which was incredible. I mean, 54 years, the pressure that was on was ridiculous. And he ended up, you know, getting a cup.
So is Mogilny still the best player you ever played with? Or is it Messier? Oh, really? Okay, good.
Hey,
skill-wise?
Yeah.
Skill-wise? Yeah. But, I mean, Messier, just put a brick wall in front of him and he'll go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little different, but, yeah.
What about Mogilny and Bure's relationship? Did they like each other? Were they trying to compete with each other?
They were, you know what? I didn't really ever get into it, and Alex was pretty quiet. Like, Alex was one of my better friends, one of my best friends, but never really got into it, never really talked about it. But they were just more like teammates. Like, they didn't really have, you thought they'd have this special bond or something, but never really did. You know, I never really saw it that way. But, you know.
What about Bure?
Pavel got hurt.
Yeah.
He tore his ACL, so they didn't play that one full year together. They were supposed to play together. And that, Pav just had his own thing. Pav did his own thing. Like, you know, we'd get off a road trip. We'd get off the plane, and Pav and Gino would go do their own thing. And that was just what it was. So, but yeah, as far as like players, like, yeah, two of the best, of course. No, but with Mogilny, like, why is he not in the Hall?
No idea, dude.
I think he will get in. It's just like, you know, there's such an outcry. I don't know why he's not in. I don't know why.
I don't get it.
There's some other players who aren't in there either, you know? So, yeah, eventually those guys will find their way in. Hey, when it comes to mental illness, do you find that goaltenders suffer way more mental anguish? It's more of a challenge for a goaltender from a mental standpoint. And how important is that relationship between starting goaltender and backup goaltender? I mean, can that impact an individual when the goaltending partner, the starter or the backup, treats you like shit? You know, like, can that be difficult for a goalie? Like, how do you overcome that? And had you experienced that?
I think if you're a younger guy, yeah, no question. I've heard stories, you know, of other teams and other goalies where one just tortures the other. Right. I never got that. Like, you know, Kirk and I didn't have the best relationship when I got there, but, you know, now he's one of my better friends.
Really?
And I didn't see too much of that, but there's a competitiveness there. You know, there's a competitiveness there that has to be there. Mm-hmm. You know, you both want to play. If one guy plays too well, you don't play. So that's the hard part. The hard part was the balance between winning, you know, and wanting to win, but then also wanting to play. Because if the guy goes on a 10-game win streak, like, you're sitting on the bench. Yeah. So that that I don't know, that I found hard. And Cam, you've as a player, I mean, you've seen that,
dude.
You know,
it messes with me. I was going to ask you that. Like, there's weeks, and sometimes, like even with the Devils, like they kind of push you aside if you're not playing.
Yeah.
Like you're not necessarily part of the team.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're down and out. You're living by yourself. Like it wears on you a little bit. You know?
Oh, absolutely. You get like really depressed, you know. That's where you need good teammates in that. Like, I mean, we're all going to go through tough times, shitty times, but having a serious mental illness is a lot different than that. And I mean, that's where your teammates obviously have to pick you up a little bit if they can.
The happy face you have to put on every
Oh,
day.
God.
You know what I'm talking about, dude. Yeah.
And you're out there like you're practicing. There's 3 of you practicing, right?
Everybody else is gone. They're having lunch.
It's the worst.
And you're practicing, and you have to be happy.
Or the morning after a back-to-back, and everybody else is still sleeping.
Everybody's sleeping, and the coaches are on you, and you're pissy.
Yeah.
No, I know, man. It wears on you.
Hey, I've known you for a long time, Hershey. I don't even remember. I don't even think I knew. At least I forgot that you were in goal when Forsberg scored that.
Oh yeah, I read.
I mean, historic goal.
Oh, you had to bring it up.
Listen, my and it became a famous like stamp.
Yep.
Okay, my son is 7 years old, and he to this day he calls that move the Forsberg. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And by the way, you look Swedish. You probably could have gone to the other locker room, and they wouldn't have even known. They would have said, "Okay, Corey, come on in," because you kind of look Swedish, actually. But when he scores,
looks Irish.
When did you first realize that goal went viral? Like when it just went absolutely crazy?
Yeah, it was. It was actually at least it was a good player for one.
Yeah.
Peter Forsberg was a pretty damn good player. And then, you know what, like it's made me relevant. It's what helps me be able to talk on mental health. And it's what makes, it's what people in Canada remember me for, so it's actually a moment in history that's quite significant. It could be one of the best Olympic finals ever.
Oh yeah.
And I got to be part of it. I mean, at the time I didn't enjoy it too much.
Well, you played incredible in that game. And you played great the game before. I mean, to carry at that age, young goaltender, Canada, Olympics, and carry your team all the way to the gold medal game, you should be proud of that.
Damn right.
Yeah.
But the stamp became so famous, but you didn't give them permission to use your image on the stamp. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Like, couldn't you have financially made some money out of that?
No, well, here's what happened. They said, okay, so they came to my agent and said, hey, we want to use your likeness, blah, blah, blah. My agent said, I think, okay, well, give us $50,000 or whatever it was or something, right? Mm-hmm. And then we never heard from them, and the stamp came out just completely different with a new number on my back. Really? So never really, and then I just dropped it. Yeah, it wasn't worth, I just dropped it after that. And I was a 20-year-old kid. I didn't know what I was doing. My agent's like, yeah, we'll get $50,000 out of it. I'm like, okay.
Do you sign pictures? Do you sign pictures of that? Because I remember talking to Noel Picard about this forever.
Bobby Orr.
Because he's the guy who tripped up Bobby Orr. He's in the famous picture, one of the most famous images in the history of sports. Bobby Orr, soaring through the air. But Forsberg's goal on you is one of the most famous goals in hockey history. So are people bringing that picture up to you? Are you signing that picture or no?
Well, they do. I mean, first of all, I want to thank you for comparing me to Bobby Orr.
No problem.
Damn right.
My photo. I mean, people, I show it when I do my talks. Like I have a whole spiel where I show the video and that. So it's, like I said, it's pretty cool. And I got a medal out of it, but we actually didn't have a very good team going into the Olympics. And then Paul Kariya and Peter Nedved ended up on our team.
Wow. Well,
Peter
Kariya.
Nedved was a Czech.
That'll help.
Yeah, no shit he was.
Paulie Kariya. He's like juggling apples.
Yeah, what was Paulie doing? Because I play with him in St. Lovely human being. We love him to death. But he had like a long warm up and stuff. Like he was in his own little program.
Oh my God.
And it worked.
I was exhausted watching him.
I know, dude. I know.
I watched him make this one move in practice. He must have practiced it for a week straight, every day after practice for like 30 minutes. And I can't even explain it. It's something he did. Somehow he was getting a pass. Sure enough, he went and did it in the next game.
Yep.
It was like he was just that meticulous about everything he did.
and he would like if you walk around him naked, he will evaluate your body and like critique you.
That wouldn't be good
like,
for me.
I know. I'm like, oh, okay. I got to work on my glutes. I'm sorry, Paulie.
Hey,
Bastard.
I can't remember the last time I saw my abs, Jenner.
Oh, man. I know. Do you golf? Like, are you?
I do.
Like in between, traveling and shit. Like, are you just chilling? Like, are you like, okay, I'm gonna set my day up this way. I'm golfing. I'm gonna do this. Like, you got it pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? I living here in Vancouver. We got some pretty nice courses. So, like I said, I'll go up. Like Whistler's beautiful. Like we're blessed with some of our courses here. They're stunning. But unfortunately, I didn't make the money that you made, Janner, so I can't afford to golf every day, all day.
Wait, dude. What? Dude, that money's. I had to remake the money post hockey career. To be completely honest with you, that's why we're doing podcasts on a Sunday.
No, I know, right?
No shit.
People don't get it. Like it's man. Like. No, I didn't. Yeah, the money looks good for a few years, but then I got to make it last another 50 years after that. Yeah, it doesn't quite work that way.
I know.
Yeah, I got to work.
They think you're rich, but some guys are. Like nowadays, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Look, these guys that have 30 in the bank, you can do what you want. You can take years off. Like I had to get right back into it, man. Like okay, radio, podcast. Thank God Andy and I joined up, and we're doing our thing, man, because. You don't know what's your skill set. Like, what do I do?
Yeah, no kidding, right? Well, the best person for that has been Biz Annette.
Yep.
That's who I like. Like, Biz, and I know Biz, obviously. Mm-hmm. But what he's done post-career and how hard that guy works, like, people just think he just shows up and, how hard he works and how good of a guy he is, and just like it's incredible. And I actually kind of use that as a little bit of inspiration, just like sometimes when I'm like, all right, it's pretty, yeah, right.
Yeah, no, he's working his ass off. And I saw it up close and personal when the All-Star game was here. We did a couple of events together, like outside of St. Louis, red carpet stuff. Like he turns it on. Like when the lights are on, and he's got to interact with people, he turns it on. But like. He deals with like, he has a way of making sure that he's got the energy necessary. It's not like when he's not in front of people, he's not crazy, like he kind of keeps quiet. And then all of a sudden, he just has that ability. Cameras on. He's interacting with people. He can flip that switch,
Yeah, that's
pretty impressive.
It's a skill. But he's actually, as you guys know, the character you see that he is not. I mean, it's part of who he is. But I mean, he's one of the best guys I know. Like I could say, Biz, I'm moving tomorrow. He'd send 2 guys in a truck, right? He might even show up himself, right? He'd be like, okay, I'll clear an hour here for my schedule.
He's doing a photo shoot on a lake somewhere in Kelowna.
I don't know when he slows down. I don't know when he slows down.
Hey, just to be clear, are you living in Whistler? That's where you live now?
No, I'm in Vancouver. I'm downtown Vancouver.
Okay.
No, we're about an hour and a half.
Right.
Yeah. No,
I went up there for my anniversary a few years back, man, 10-year anniversary. And it was amazing. Like Squamish. I was like, where do you live up there? Like,
beautiful.
Yeah. So I was just wondering.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Is that your thing? Like you want to like get like a cabin somewhere in the mountains or something like that?
I would love that. You know what? The older I get, the crustier I am, and the less I want to be around people.
Dude. I know, man.
I want to fire, and I want people to leave me alone.
I know. And I want to look at beauty and just jam out and stare at a fire. That's all I need. I'm a simple man these days.
Without divulging too much, though, are you making a living with your like public speaking? Is this like a full-time job for you?
I do pretty well. It's gone well in that direction. So that I was able to do that full time, and kind of take a step aside from hockey. But you know what was really cool this year about because the first time I'd been away from hockey in since I was 6 years old, and then working in the industry, like I always felt like going home and watching a game was like watching work. I don't want to watch a game, right? Yeah. This year I got to be a fan again, like I did. I got to watch it. I got to watch what I wanted, who I wanted, and good buddy of mine, and you guys might know him, Sean Burke, ended up winning the Stanley Cup this year. Finally,
saw his name on the cup.
We had him on.
Yeah.
Names on there. Yeah, we had Sean Burke on a while ago, man. He was great. Hey, man, so you did that Players Tribune article. I mean,
Yeah.
and that just completely blew up. Now, who came to you with that idea? And did you have any idea this was going to turn into what it ultimately became? And
I had no
once
idea.
the story went out, when did you realize, oh my God, this is going absolutely viral? Because it did.
Yeah, within an hour, like within an hour, it absolutely blew up. Like, and I was right before it came out, I knew it was going to launch, and I didn't know what to expect. Like, I was actually scared, right? I mean, I talked about everything. I talked about, anxiety, OCD. I talked about all that stuff. And then about an hour in, I was like, holy shit, this has gotten to another level. And it was, so I had met a former player about 4 months prior to that in Arizona. And he was actually an active player on a roster. And I went to the game in Arizona, and I don't want to say his name, but I went to the game in Arizona. He was in the stands, and he didn't play for Arizona or the team they were playing. I'm like, what are you doing here? And he was like, oh, I'm in rehab. I'm like, well, you hurt your knee or something? He's like, no, I'm in rehab. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I live here. I'll take you for a coffee or whatever. We'll go for a coffee. So next day we go for a coffee. And I didn't tell anybody any of my story, anything. But the only people that knew was my, like my closest friends and my family. Mm-hmm. And I just started spewing my story out to him, figuring, well, he's in rehab. There's got to be some sort of connection here. And he looks at me. He goes, holy shit, that's exactly what happened to me. And his mom had to resuscitate him twice from fentanyl overdoses.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was at that point I was like, I can't sit here and, just hold on to this story any longer. So I ended up getting in contact with Jessica Berman in the NHL at the time. I think she's doing soccer now. I'm not sure. But anyways, and she set it up at the Players Tribune, and it just blew up from there. Insane. Started me on this whole new path, which has been more rewarding than any game I ever played.
So had you never told, like, the story is very long.
Yeah.
So, and with Cam's reading pace, it may take him 2 weeks to actually.
I read
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I can relate.
It's
to
a
a lot
captivating story. I think a lot of people can relate to what you're saying. But was that the first time you would ever really put yourself out there with any of that?
Publicly, yeah.
Yeah.
I told nobody. Like, I didn't tell anybody. Like I said, other than close family or friends, and they didn't even know really the details of the story. There's a lot more. And you know what, Strick and Jenner, it was actually a bit of an apology for my teammates too from back then.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't the best teammate, right? I couldn't be.
Wow.
I couldn't be. So, when that came out, it was interesting to be able to go talk to those guys, and they're like, holy shit, yeah, we were there for that.
Yep. Now we get it.
Did they circle back and reach out to you, like teammates and coaches and stuff?
Yeah, tons of guys.
Yeah.
Tons of guys. A lot of guys were like, they felt bad that they weren't able to help me or that they didn't see it. I'm like, you wouldn't. I wasn't going to let you be able to see it.
Yeah, you hit
it.
It
had nothing to do with you. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you do, right?
Even like
that's what we did.
When you're the third goalie, they win the cup. They're partying at the Rangers. Yeah. And they're all partying. You're like, I gotta get home. And you go home and you still feel like shit. And all the guys are like, where the fuck did he go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you left. You went home right afterwards before the parade and all of that, right?
Well, I mean, not to get too dark, but I was actually suicidal at that point. It was 2 weeks after they won the cup. I just won a silver medal at the Olympics, Stanley Cup. I didn't. I was the third goalie roster member. So I drank out of the cup, and 2 weeks after that, I'd actually make an attempt in my own life. Like, you can't, that's why when someone's in it, you can't sit there and try to point out how great their life is because you can't see it,
You don't know.
So
the best thing you can do is encourage help. That's really, go ahead.
So you were good, but then it kind of just suddenly happened. Like, was it concussion? Did anything like trigger it off the bat, or did you just start having weird dreams? Like what started it?
Yeah. So OCD is a little bit different in a way that some people can tell you they had it from the time they were 6 years old. Other people I can tell you the moment, where things just kind of went south. Like I can tell you, well, I can pinpoint it. And for everybody, it's a little different, whereas depression can sneak up on you. And then next thing you know, you can't get out of bed because you're just, right? I mean, there's life circumstances and that. And then I didn't know what was going on. Like, we'd never been educated on any of this stuff. And that's kind of why I do what I do today, is because I got a bit of a chip on my shoulder. Like, I almost ended up dead for something you could have taught me about in high school. You know?
Damn right.
And we can't do that to our kids anymore. Like, we can't, they need the information. They want the information. We still don't have it in our schools. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's the stuff that's got to change. And that's what's going to change for players too, right? If we give them the education early, you know, someone struggles at 27, 28 or whatever, you know, they know what to do. They know where to get help. They don't need the team's help.
Yeah, I think the stigma it's definitely changed. I still think there's ways to go. You'd know more than I do. But in terms of, I think people feel more comfortable saying they have mental health issues or they need help. But you talk about in the story, like right off the bat, you being in that sports car and you're driving 140 miles per hour towards the cliff, and then you slam on the brakes. Like, how vivid is that memory for you? And do you think about it often? And are you listen?
Yeah, go ahead.
You tell your story, but like in a way, can you be proud of your story too? You know, as opposed to people maybe feeling embarrassed of their story, can you feel proud of your story because of where you are today?
Yeah, you know, those are really difficult questions, and I am, but I also don't believe that I needed to get to that point. You know, like I said, if there's a lot of things that happened leading up to that didn't need to get there. Like, again, educating me in high school would have been a nice thing.
Yeah,
but you know, I don't think about it. I mean, I talk about it when I do my talks all the time. So I kind of glance over it. I don't really sit and think about it. It's just kind of a dark period, right? Mm-hmm. Something I went through, and I just kind of try and leave it there. And it's, yeah, I wish I had more to it. You know,
we get it.
It's just,
we get it, man. Hey, let me ask you though, because there's a lot of people that listen. And just like we talked about, there's a lot of people, well, I don't know, 2 out of 4. There's a lot of people that have some sort of issue. And when you started, like, you had bad visions of things, like maybe your mother dying or whatever the case is.
What did you do, Hershey? Like, the cops are
are they going after you, by the way? I'm trying to be serious.
I told you I live downtown.
So
I gotta close this. It gets a little loud.
You're good, man.
No, that's okay.
You're good, because again, like, people, again, we have a lot of listeners, and they're going through shit, you know. But when reading that though, like you said, you started getting these weird visuals and visions and thoughts, and you're like, okay, they go away, but then they start sticking around. So, like, did that started it? And if people are listening, man, like, again, like, we all have it, but once they start sticking around and you can't shake it, you feel like you have a problem.
Well, it's on a loop. It just never stops. And the more you try and figure it out, the worse it gets. And OCD is like, you know, I mean, it's, everybody thinks it's the hand washes and all that, but I did everything in my head. So that's why you couldn't see it. You know, that's why I was able to hide it from people, because everybody thinks it's someone's neat, or they're organized, or they're clean, or they got the, you know, and those are just as awful, right? But I did everything in my head, so I was able to hide it a lot easier than a lot of other people. And you know, the content's different for everybody. Like if you read my book, you know, I mean, the content changes over and over and over of what it is. It's like your brain just kind of grabs onto that, and it just absolutely tortures you with it. And just it's unrelenting. But the good news is that there's help, and there is treatment, and there's no cure for OCD, but there's treatment, and people get so much better.
What is the
treatment?
I
live a great life today.
What is the treatment for OCD? Like, because I know people very close to me who have, I think, significant OCD. I like, what is the treatment? They can go talk to somebody, but there's no medication for it. So how do you treat it?
Yeah, so you know, you can take a medication. That's not going to get rid of it, but it's going to lessen the anxiety to help you deal with the thoughts. And it's a therapy called ERP. and it's exposure and response prevention, and it's it sucks. It sucks. Like, it brought me back to my knees doing it, but then I started to climb out of it, and it actually really worked. It worked really well. But I went and actually, you guys are gonna love this. I went and did ayahuasca.
Oh, no
a little
shit.
while ago.
Wow.
No, where at? Down in
Yeah.
South America? You do your thing?
Rhythmia
Really?
in Costa Rica. Yeah. It's
Wow.
medically licensed, and
Wow.
it was
Explain what this is, because
Yes.
I've seen different
I know.
podcasts. I think Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers may have done some of this too, right?
yeah, like it's I don't sit there and I go, hey, you got to go do this. So anybody out there listening, I'm not endorsing anything you do. You follow your own program or whatever. But for me, you have to deal with all your trauma and all your pain. Like, it just brings it up, and it brings it up quickly. And it was the most horrifying, terrifying, beautiful experience, incredibly beautiful experience I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
So it starts
So-
off bad, though, right? When did you
Well,
smoke it, or did you taste it, drink it?
No, you drink it. It's a medicine. Yeah.
Oh, so is
Um,
there a medicine man who's leading you through all of this, like a
Yeah,
shaman or
there's a
something?
shaman. There's shamans there.
Okay.
It's very, yeah, and it's that brings up your trauma, and you got to face it. Like, you don't have a choice. We
Really?
all want to bury it.
So they get it
we all
out of
wanna
you. The
kind of-
shaman gets it out of you, like
The medicine does.
the medicine.
He gives you the medicine.
Mm-hmm.
But
The
don't you?
shaman, yeah.
Yeah. But don't you go to a dark place first? So you fight your demons off the bat, and you're like, I'm in hell. And all of a sudden you break out of it. And now it's like, oh gosh, now I'm feeling good. Now here's my happiness. Now I get it.
How
Now I
long
get
is
it.
the process of the whole?
Yeah.
Is it like a one-time thing?
I mean, it was 4 days.
Okay.
It was a 4-day thing, and you drink medicine every night, and it was.
Does it taste bad?
Oh, it's awful.
Puke everywhere.
It was awful.
You puke and shit,
But-
don't you?
It was. That's exactly what you do, and it's all basically you're just bringing up all your trauma.
Is it
and
expensive?
Yeah, it wasn't cheap.
Okay.
But
See, hey, listen, Hershey,
Dude.
that shouldn't
Yeah.
be expensive though for
I
people
know.
to get help. Though. You know what I
no,
mean?
it shouldn't. It shouldn't be, and it's unfortunate that like I said, I'm not sure it's for everybody,
Mhm.
but like I noticed a change. Like, something shifted in me after I
Wow.
did it,
Wow.
in a lot of things, in a lot of ways. But
What's the
yeah.
difference between that and DMT?
I think it's the same thing,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
I didn't have a good experience on a DMT thing, man.
Isn't that like a psychedelic?
Yeah, it wasn't good for me.
Oh, is it? Yeah,
It wasn't good for
No.
me. I tried it. It
Didn't-
wasn't good.
yeah.
It fucked me
No,
up a little
this-
bit.
Isn't that a derivative in LSD? Isn't it?
LSD lasts for hours and hours. This is like 30 seconds, but you feel like you're in it for 2 hours. It didn't hit me the way I wanted it to, and I was in a weird spot at the time.
Yeah.
But ayahuasca is completely different. You are committed, and they watch over you, and you
Oh,
might
yeah.
puke and you'll shit, but you're facing
Might.
the demons. Yeah, no, you're doing it, dude. I'll do.
Oh, you're in it.
I know. I might have to go down there, dude. Costa Rica.
You know what?
Damn.
Hey, I would absolutely. I mean, it's like I say, I'm not. If anybody's listening, I'm not endorsing it as a cure or anything for
Hardcore.
anybody.
Hardcore.
It's your path and whatever. And it makes me, after doing it, it's like, and we just see what's going on here, in North America. And I believe that there's a place for medications. I'm on medication, right? Like, but there's other traditional methods that work too. And I'm a believer in, hey, you try it out and you see what works for you, you know?
Right.
And you see Aaron Rodgers right now kind of moving forward and I'm not going to become an advocate for it anytime soon, but I'm not afraid to share that I went and that it was, something I'm glad I did.
Can you set the scene for me though? Like, is it just you one-on-one with the shaman? Are there other people in there?
There's probably about 40 people in there, and you have your own little bed. You go up, you drink the medicine, and then you kind of go back to your bed, and you're dealing with your stuff. Like, all your trauma comes up, and you're seeing it, and you're seeing things that happened, in your past, and but it also brings you to some beautiful places too, right? It's like
It's not all bad.
It was
right?
like how can I say? It was like 20 years of therapy in 4 nights.
Wow. Are you doing constant therapy now? And are you on daily medication now?
I do. I take some meds like right now, but I'm actually almost off all my meds, which is great. But it's I like where I do the therapy I do now is different though. It's therapy for me now is like more like regulation. So I'll go once, I'll go once a month, twice a month or something. If I need it, I'll go less. If I need it, I'll go more. But I don't just go for I'll go for relationship stuff. I'll go for my, life stuff now. It's not so much, all the serious mental health issues that I had prior. It's more like these are life skills and life stuff that I'm learning. Yeah.
Are you religious? Do you go to church?
No, I'm not very religious.
I get you. Neither do I.
I'm like, hey, whatever, some people get by on faith, right? I mean, that's what, hey, whatever floats your boat and whatever works for you, I'm all for it. And anything that preaches peace and love, I'm all for it. Whatever you want, Yeah, no,
but I'm with you there, man.
Yeah.
What about cannabis? What about cannabis?
Cannabis, yeah, a little bit here and there, not a lot. Yeah, not a lot.
I mean, I don't
you're
drink very much anymore. You're in BC now.
BC,
come on,
though, Hershey.
I know, right?
Get that dank weed. I'm just telling you. Cam out and listen to some music.
No, I don't drink much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit here and there, but I just find that, I don't know. I mean, we were all drinkers in our day.
Oh yeah, dude.
In the 90s, in that, it was like we were all drinkers. Like you never touch pot ever. Like
really
any of that stuff. Now it's completely the opposite. I mean, it's changed so much.
I know. These guys are just.
It's better than drinking. To be honest with you. You want to smoke a little bit and get your mind right.
I agree.
You're fucking drinking all night.
Is there a connection between mental illness and substance abuse?
Oh, absolutely.
Drugs, alcohol.
Absolutely. I mean, we all. It depends. If you're using to cover something up, of course, right? But if you're just going out and having a good time every once in a while, I mean, that's recreational. But when you see somebody that's drinking to excess, there's something going on.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
And we try to encourage people to get into treatment, instead of looking at them as another junkie or another alcoholic or another addict, right? And people got to be part of their own recovery, though.
Yeah, they do.
That's the other side. It's just because you've confronted someone that you think might have a drinking problem or whatever, doesn't mean that they want the help. There's not much you can do.
You got to do it for yourself or it ain't going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Listen, this guy was an unbelievable goaltender in junior Cam, in Kamloops.
Oh,
incredible.
I know, baby.
You got to the American League. You were the top goaltender in the American League. Rookie of the year in the American League, but also named top goaltender. But your biggest accomplishment is when you were a judge in the Miss Teen USA pageant back in 1993,
yes,
Hershey.
Oh, boy.
Yes, I was.
Big wheel.
How did that come about? That video is out there for all the people, by the way. We'll throw it up there.
Hell yeah.
When you play for the Rangers, the world is at your fingertips.
Yeah.
It's like playing for the Yankees. So that came about. I think I'd played a couple games for the Rangers, and they were looking for some young guy to come in and be a judge. And I think it's Paramount Studios and all that. It's just so cool. Anything's possible when you play for New York. Anything is possible. It's the coolest place in the world. Hey, Cam, was that one of your favorite buildings to play in?
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I mean, God, yeah.
Wasn't it?
I always wanted to fight in that building, just to get the energy.
You never fought?
No, I always did. We had brawls. We had that big line brawl and all that shit. So I got a lot. I scored a goal. I kicked the puck in, and Tim Peel, the ref, who we knew from St. Louis,
he gave me the goal. It shouldn't have counted, Hershey.
Probably should have counted.
Should not have counted.
So fuck yeah,
that's
great.
Hilarious.
It's great, man. I loved it. But playing for the Rangers, if you're not making that much money, could be a little difficult because it's so expensive. If you're, But other than that, you can make money because you're playing for them anyway in other ways.
Hey, I got called up my first year. I got called up. My contract was $29,500 in the minors, and I think $115,000 in the NHL. I thought I was the richest man alive.
Oh my God!
I know, dude.
I was buying everybody drinks. I was buying everything.
So did I, dude.
Right.
In your bubble, you are. Like in your little
Right,
bubble,
yeah.
you are.
Well, because how old were you? 21.
You're 20, 21 years old. I was 20 at the time, right?
Yeah, your buddies who are 21 are making like $8 an hour.
They're living with their parents.
No
shit.
Or college.
You get a packet of cash for per diem, like they just hand it to you, like $3,000 at the start of training camp.
Did you ever like take a picture and send it to your buddies, like I did, like a jackass?
No, we didn't have.
They didn't have cell
phones. Oh, that's right.
It was old. Yeah.
Oh, it just started happening. I'm like, oh, I got some cash, boys. Take that and like it. I know.
Hey, Hershey, listen, there's a lot of like hockey people listening, general managers, owners. Like, what's your advice to them? Like, do you think a team should employ somebody like yourself? Like, every team should have somebody for them to go to and talk to. Like, would you ever be interested in working with a team or for a team? And have teams ever reached out to you to, come talk to their group?
Yeah, no, I absolutely. But I think it has to be the right person. Right, like you have to be somebody, and that's why you'd need a former player, somebody that's non-evasive, and but absolutely it could help. I mean, like it's not so much even in your NHL guys; it's in your draft picks. Most mental health problems are going to start between the ages of 16 and 24. Well, that's right in that wheelhouse. So you could completely help identify guys. And it's not identify guys to out them or anything. It's to identify guys that might be struggling. Hey, let's get them some help because, you're going to be an even better player after you get help. Mm-hmm. So, and that's like Vancouver paid me a good sum of money and then ended up not getting anything for me, right? Because they didn't know how to help me. So they couldn't trade me. They ended up burying me in the minors. So you lose that asset.
Yeah, you're right.
So I wish more teams would see it this way: as you just go get the person the help they need. They're going to be an even better player than they are right now, and they become an asset again.
Yeah, no, I know players who are like dealing with stuff, and you hear the whispers and stuff. Hey, when did it start for you? Like I know you talk about when you went to, you're dealing with it through the playoff run with the Rangers when they won the Cup in '94, but were you dealing with this long before when you're playing junior, or even prior to playing junior? Like when do you remember, having the thoughts and all that start happening?
When I look back, there's certain things that kind of lead up to it, but like I was always like a really anxious kid, had a lot going on. I had one really bad concussion when I was 15. Where I didn't know where I was for 2 days.
Wow.
Did that. I can't prove or deny that had anything to do with it. I don't know. Right. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't speak on concussions because I'm not educated enough in them. And I don't want people to think, oh, he got this because he had a concussion, but couldn't have helped. Right. So, I guess looking back, like there probably were some things. Maybe my teammates noticed or something, but not until really things kind of went dark. And everything just kind of changed in an instant.
Man, when's your next speaking engagement?
Yeah.
You ever go to like Hawaii or anything?
Wednesday.
Or
you ever go to
the Caribbean?
You ever go down to Florida or something?
I caught on with a health and wellness group, and the first one they took me to was in Hawaii, and I spoke in Hawaii. The rest of them have been like northern BC into like Fort St. John, northern Saskatchewan. So I feel
good
like
old boys up there.
Hey, Hershey,
I'll go anywhere.
I get you.
I'm good.
Do you find that where you live, your environment, can either help or hurt your mental illness? Like you hear about suicidal rate in like Seattle, for example, even though Seattle's a beautiful city, but there's not much sunshine and all that. Right. Alaska. I mean, but like, I feel like, I lived in Hawaii for almost 4 months one summer, and I felt like everybody was happy and like everybody's healthy. You go to Colorado up in like a mountain town, and everybody's healthy and happy and they're active and they're out doing things. So how much can that contribute to your mental health?
Well, the sun is like for me. I'm in Vancouver. We had like a really bad winter. Like I was losing my shit. Like I had to get out of here. And then when you see the sun and it comes out, it just makes you feel better, right?
Yeah.
That's why I love Arizona. I love Arizona.
It's hot though.
I love going
but
down
too
there.
much sun.
It's hot.
Too much sun. You get depressed too.
Like when it's 130.
It's like it needs to be perfect.
I will still golf at 130. Like I will still go out there. Like
Will you?
it is. I golfed. Hey, I golfed in St. Louis once. I think it was like 95. Like with like the humidity was off the charts. It was August. I was sick. Like I was sick for 2 days after. I golfed in Arizona in 112, and it was completely different. Like I don't get sick, Like, but that I will never forget golfing in St. Louis in August. Like I was sick for like 2 days.
Dude, August, you just like shut it down. You just shut it down in St. Louis. Let me ask you, what if you could chill out the most, kick your feet up, read a good book? Like, is it in like a cabin in the mountains with snow coming down? Are you like next in a beach situation?
Absolutely.
Or like what's your dream chill zone?
I think a little bit, all of the above.
I know, dude. I know.
I'm a redhead, so I don't do that well on a beach.
I hear
so
you.
I'm probably more of a cabin type person. Like I said, I really like skiing now again. And I think Jenner, you had mentioned like skiing. I had a ski accident in November, and I ended up blowing out my knee. Ski accidents are violent.
Dude,
I
right?
heard. I know.
Yes.
That
You get
I just
hit-
saw somebody
get-
the other day
yeah.
who was in a sling. I'm like, what happened to you? He's like, I
Fall.
broke my shoulder
Fucking
skiing.
fall.
Oh man,
Dude.
yeah. Like you get hit in hockey, you fall and you drop right there. You hurt yourself in skiing. You're tumbling down the hill.
Oh my
Like
god.
you're still going, right?
Yeah, and
So that was
those skis will get caught too
Oh
and
my
just
God.
rip your ACL
And your
MCL.
ankle's stuck inside of those things.
And hey, sometimes you'll like, I remember like when I was young going, and I'd veer off in kind of like a little trail in the woods. And you're like, oh, cool, I'm in a trail. But you can't stop because there's trees right there and your skis are get caught. So you keep gaining that speed. And it always afterwards, there's a big jump. And you don't even realize it. And you fall and you break your back. And, you're done. So.
Hey, I got a few more,
Oh,
a
I
couple
hear
more
you,
things
man.
for you,
Yeah.
and then we'll let you go, man.
Yeah,
We
dude, you've been
appreciate
awesome.
your time as always. All right, so give me a couple of guys who have always been there for you, and who you go to when you
God,
need
so
them.
many.
Give me some teammates who
Well,
who are there for you, like they're on your Rolodex, your speed dial, man, when you need somebody.
Oh yeah. Russ Cornell is one of them.
Oh, we had him
I'll
on.
go see
He's the
Russ.
best.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
Russ's dad took his own life.
Right.
A long time ago, and he's a big supporter of mental health. They have a whole great program. Sean Burke's a good friend of mine. Like I still see Dave Babich here in town. We'll have coffee or whatever. Like there's a lot of guys. Like what you don't realize is that they were struggling too. A lot of them were struggling with a lot of stuff during their career at some point too, but just never said anything. You never saw it. Like mine became to the point where I lost 30 pounds. Right. That's when I couldn't hide it anymore. And then other guys just live through it. I mean, they just deal with it. But you realize how many guys and how lonely and how much shit goes on when you come forward with your stuff. It's amazing what other people will tell you back when they know that you're a safe person to talk to.
You coached. We mentioned that at the beginning of the interview. You were a goalie coach here in St. Louis and elsewhere. Would you ever want to get back into that? Did you enjoy it? And how was your mental health then when you're like coaching and dealing with the grind and the pressure of trying to get these goaltenders at the highest level to perform every night?
Yeah, no, you know what? I was by the time I got there, it was pretty good. And we had I think the top 3 goaltending in the league. We had Elliott and Halak.
Yeah, well, Jennings.
Then I still got fired because we traded for Ryan Miller.
Oh God, why didn't that work out?
Man, you know what? I like Ryan a lot. He was he'd never been traded before. There was a lot going on, and that was a tough go for him. Plus,
I remember
we lost to Chicago too. Yeah, we lost to Chicago, I think. But I don't know if I'd ever get back into it. So I wouldn't say never.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd rather be on the development player side, like on the scouting or that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not big. When you're a coach, those guys are like, that's 24/7. Those guys don't turn it off.
I know.
Like, and it's yeah. So it's almost like it takes a special person, I guess I'll say it. Guys go in, they work 15-hour days as coaches, right? Well, I can only watch the same save so many times, right? After about an hour,
watch it again and let me know what you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm done. It's about an hour. You're an hour in, hour and a half in. Okay, like I've watched the video. Everybody's gone home. You know, what are you going to do?
Hey, that can't be good for your mental health, man, when you're working 15, 16, 17-hour days.
Hell no.
Never is. You know? No, absolutely it's not. You know, guys, you got to find a balance. But coaches are just a different breed. Like the guys that love it, they're obsessed by it. Mm-hmm. Like they're like, well, you saw what Hitch was like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know,
he'd probably coach tomorrow if somebody offered him a job. You know, he loves it, man. It's in his blood. Hey, how are your kids? How's your family? Are everybody good?
Everybody's good. Yeah, my kids are all older. My daughter just got married end of May. I got to walk my daughter down the aisle. Honestly, it was the best moment of my life. It was so cool to be able to do that, right? Mm. And then you look back at all the shit and all that stuff, and I go, you know what? Like, couldn't imagine missing that day. It was the greatest day of my life.
Good for you, man.
I know you had some personal tragedy too, like with your prior relationship. Are you in a relationship right now, or are you kind of single?
No, it's all good. Yeah, no, I had a girlfriend that took her own life while I was dating her. Like it's so mental health is all around me. So it only makes sense that, this is what I do, right? It's almost like, okay, here's, the universe is gonna slap me in the head till I start, talking about it and start being able to do what I do. And like I said, it's been more rewarding than anything I've ever done.
Do you talk about that? And when you do public speaking, you bring up your girlfriend?
I do. Yeah. It was hard at first, but now it's like, it's actually, interestingly enough, one of the things that I went through in ayahuasca was kind of like processing all of that. Right. So I feel good about it. Right. Like her story is, and her story, I don't want it to, she was a great person, good human being. And she deserves a voice too. That's the way I look at it. So it's been a ride.
Yeah, man. I get you.
Hey, listen, I give you a lot of credit, man.
People are going to learn a lot from this interview, just so you know.
That's right.
They are, man. They are. We all got demons, dude. And I'm glad that you're speaking about it, man. Seriously. Mm-hmm. You're damn good at it. You're damn good at it.
Yeah, you are good.
And we're going to keep in touch with you, man. 100%.
Please do.
I remember talking to you when you were looking to get into broadcasting, and like I had interviewed you. I knew you'd be good at it.
Yeah, dude.
But your calling is probably doing what you're doing now, man, because you're helping people and you get to speak and use your voice and be proud of a great hockey career too, man. You accomplished an awful lot as well. So
except for the Forsberg goal, but other than that,
hey, you should be getting paid for that.
No shit. We're writing an email to Sweden.
So now when my son does the Forsberg to me, I'm going to say I'm Corey Hirsch.
Damn right. Hershey, you're the man, dude.
Yeah,
you're the man.
All good.
Go enjoy yourself. We'll keep in touch
Thanks,
with you.
guys.
All right, homeboy.
Appreciate
it, buddy.
Okay,
Later, dude.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
The Cam Strick podcast is brought to you by Bellman and Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get out there to Detroit, Missouri. Check it out. On one side, you got the Buick, the GMC. Options for everybody. Then right across the street, you got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Again, find something that works for you and get yourself a new set of wheels in time for the summer.
Yeah.
All right, that was Corey Hirsch. Great interview, man. All the best to Corey, man. Keep doing what you're doing, impacting a lot of people, making a lot of positive impact as well. Full-time on the speaking tour. Listen, if you want to have a speaker that's going to get your attention and certainly deliver home a message, Corey Hirsch will be perfect for you and whoever your organization is, man. Just throwing that out there, Cam.
Yeah, and I think he's in a good spot too, mentally. I know he goes through some days are probably pretty tough for him, but I think as a whole he's doing pretty good. He sounds like it, and that's tough, man. It's going to be a tough journey. If you know, you know. But this is got to be a good listen for people that are going through this type of, mental health problems, man. Like everybody's got a little bit of it, Some are more extreme than others. So listening to this should hopefully help ease, because sometimes you think you're by yourself, but you're not. Anytime you have mental problems or addiction problems, sometimes you feel like you're just on an island by yourself. That's why people reach out to us so much, Andy, because they kind of know that we understand it. And so hopefully this helped out a lot of people. I bet it did.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so too. I remember when his story came out in the Players Tribune, and it went like viral, dude. He said he had like 1 million hits or something like that within like the first day or first hour or some shit, like something crazy. People just reaching out to him left and right, because that was at a time where people really weren't like being forthcoming and, really being honest about like personal issues like that, which is not easy to do. I couldn't imagine being in that situation and having the ability and the balls to be able to share your story. It's not easy to share, Cam, for a lot of people.
Well, when you say you took your Porsche and you're going to drive it off a cliff, like that's a hardcore beginning. So people are probably like, oh, okay. Maybe people have maybe not that extreme, but they've been somewhere where, maybe they were going to do something to themselves. And they're like, am I the only one that thinks this way? Why am I the only one feeling this? And then once you read that headline, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, this guy maybe have the same struggles as me. So I know this is going to relate to a lot of people. I'm telling you, it's a good interview, Andy.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. Cam was concerned about me this interview, by the way, because it was the morning after we had a very long night, and we went to dinner and had a great time. And Cam was worried because I even gave him the option, if you want to push back the interview like a half hour, 45 minutes, to give himself some more time to recover.
That's so funny. Yeah, I'm like 40 minutes into my drive, and he's like, "Hey, you can tell he just got out of bed because he ate food the night before for the first time in a long time." He's like, "Hey, you want to push back a half an hour?" I go, "Fuck no, why? Let's go. I'm already at the studio." So, like, I know what you were doing. You're like, "Oh, I was concerned about you." Bullshit. You're tired. Your body was like, "Whoa, what's going on, Andy? Help! I'm not used to having things in my stomach." So I go, "No, get the fuck to the studio and let's go." And you did.
I saw a half-eaten seal on the side of the ocean, Cam, up on the shore, and a shark got that thing.
Probably, or a killer whale.
There's no orcas over here.
All right.
No, there's none. Now, the seals, dude, what's their deal? What are they doing? They just
live a
eat
good
all
life.
day long? What are they doing?
They live a good life, man. Seals live a good life unless you get rocked by a shark. But they live a good life. They're pretty quick. They can go on land. There's abundance of food everywhere they go. They kind of stick together. I like seals. They're like adorable.
Yeah, they are. I've met a couple of them since I've been here.
I've been sick of your stupid trip. Stop talking about it. It's not that
there
cool.
are. No, they are. And they hang out by all the fishermen. They hang out
by signed his first contract.
Oh, congrats, Connor.
I mean, like the kid might be a goddamn superstar. It was kind of cool for him to sign. What did he sign for? What is he getting? What is he getting? Like, what kind of signing bonus does his first pick overall get? What do you think his contract looks like?
He gets. I think it's like whatever, like $895, $855, whatever it is, something like that. Somewhere it's like just under $900.
Yeah,
but then he gets $92,000 in signing bonus money each of the next 3 years, 3 separate payments of $92,000. So I mean, it's not like you're getting. This is not the first overall pick in the NFL. Okay.
Yeah, or a first overall pick back in before 2005.
Correct. Or first overall pick in the NBA, which they've got they've got a scale, but still the NHL, man, first overall pick. I mean, you're making the same pretty much as a player if he makes the roster, as a third round pick. Although they negotiate different levels of bonuses that he'll likely reach. They got A level bonuses, B level bonuses. So I think the bonus structure, all in all, he could make north of $4 million each of his first 3 years.
Okay. That's interesting. So $4 million cap if you exceed all your bonuses. That's fair. But I remember before 2005 or 2004, I should say, like guys would get $1 million signing bonus, you know. And I think Stevie Yacht got $1 million and he was like the 21st pick or something.
Yeah. So, you know, the third round pick, now you're not negotiating the same type of bonus structure. Like you don't have the ability to make the same type of money if you reach bonuses as you would if you're the first overall pick. You know, there's different types.
What are you talking about?
Like, I'm just saying
shit.
in terms of, yeah. So, but I mean, like the 10th
Well,
overall
I just
pick,
said like a first round pick back in the day got just like that huge ass bonus. They don't do that anymore.
Huge. I mean, we're talking $1 million. I mean, that was considered huge. You know, I mean, guys in the NFL prior to just a couple of years ago, where they now have a scale, they were getting like $50 million guaranteed.
Yeah. Sam Bradford. I think he broke that one. Remember Sam Bradford? He's played for the Rams.
They were like, the NFL teams were like, we're no longer guaranteeing first overall picks $50 million just in case they're Sam Bradford.
Yeah. And he was okay until he got hurt. You know, like he was okay, right. I guess. But
he was all right.
I'm just saying, like, it's just different now. The NHL now, just like the contract's a little bit different. But like he's going to make his money. If you're good, you're good. You're going to make your money one way or the other. I
should have brought that up to Coach Garrett when I saw him in Nantucket when we were talking some ball.
Is he coaching anywhere?
He's a broadcaster.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yep.
NBC Sunday Night Football, baby.
Probably making more money than he did coaching.
I told him, I said, listen, now this is just chill. Just do this. You don't need the stress. Unless someone's going to offer you a head coaching job. You've already been a head coach for the Dallas Cowboys for 10 years. That probably paid him $50 million plus or whatever.
Yep.
Okay. Then you went to go be a coordinator. You get fired. Hey, don't go be a coordinator. Either be a head coach or just stick with broadcasting. Make your $1 million, whatever they're paying them.
And see your family a lot, you know.
How come they don't ask you to play in the ACC, that charity classic? Maybe that day is coming, Cam. Maybe you're going to get invited to go play like Joe Pavelski does.
Oh, tell Joe Pavelski and Killhorn to like engage with the fans. Like I see Steph Curry just like high-fiving everybody, doing stuff, making hole-in-ones, making a 20-foot eagle putt to win, doing hoops. Like he seems like he's just like engaged with everybody. And I know no one really knows Joe Pavelski there, but if I'm Joe Pavelski, I'm at least taking my teeth out and smiling or something just to get noticed a little bit.
Who's the other guy? Who's Killhorn?
Alex Killhorn?
Oh, Killorn?
Yeah.
Yeah, Killorn.
I call him Killhorn.
Killhorn was an old school chief from back in the day.
Yeah.
Killhorn.
I'm just saying, like, God, Steph Curry's such a cool cat, man. What an athlete he is. Hole in one, runs around, you know, high-fiving everybody. Girls are going crazy. All those yachts were backed up to that one hole. It's beautiful. Good Lord.
I've seen a lot of – I probably know a lot of those people, actually.
Because you went to that one time?
In the yachting community.
Yeah.
Well, we're all in the same, like, chat room and stuff like that in the yachting community. We all know each other.
That's pretty cool, though.
So do you know here that, like, you can't buy liquor at, like, a gas station? You have to go to a liquor store. Liquor store only.
Really?
So
yeah, I think that's a lot. And the gas stations aren't like they are in St. Louis.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can buy them at grocery stores. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, I remember being in South Carolina last year on a family vacation that we took last summer, Cam, to Hilton Head.
Yeah, really exciting.
I remember like we had to go to a liquor store. We couldn't find anything at the grocery stores. But anyway, the guy was telling me today that the healthiest liquor you can drink, healthiest alcohol, is tequila. Is that true?
I don't know. I would say probably a glass of wine would be the healthiest, I would say.
Oh, I don't think so. There's a lot of sugar in wine.
It's good for your heart and stuff like that.
They say that, I know. But the calories and sugar, there's a lot of it in the red wine and the white wine. Actually, probably even has more.
Why don't you start drinking tequila then and see what happens, Andy?
Well, I bought
drink tequila and don't eat anything. See how you feel and see how you react to things. You know, it's healthy. Try it. Try drinking tequila.
Well, I know what that feels
without eating. No,
I would not want that.
No, hell no. I like tequila here and there. I like margaritas and stuff. But I don't. I mean, listen, any type of alcohol, if you drink enough of it, it's not good for you. But I would say a glass of red wine would be the most healthy. I would say.
Great ice cream here, by the way. True. I had Ben and Jerry's last night, like a real Ben and Jerry's store. You know.
Yeah.
That was like a storefront. I got a double scoop. They have vegan options, non-dairy options.
Enough with this fucking vacation. I don't give a fuck. It ain't that fucking cool. You probably overpaid for everything. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about the whales. I don't give a shit about anything. It ain't that goddamn cool. You go to ice cream and we're still talking about this? Shut up.
You don't care about the kids. You don't care about the kids.
Oh man, I'm sick of hearing about it. It's nothing's interesting. Nothing that you're doing is that interesting. It isn't. I don't give a shit about Jason Garrett. I don't care about any of that stuff. And I think a lot of people don't either. I gave you the benefit of the doubt at the beginning, and now you're just fuck. Is there another topic you want to talk about?
You want to talk Erik Karlsson?
I mean, it kind of.
There's a difference between teams wanting you and teams needing you. Who needs Erik Karlsson?
I don't know. Who needs that contract?
Well, apparently San Jose is saying they're only gonna retain $3 million, so you still got to pay him over 8 or whatever it is, 8 million, 8.5. He had a career year, man, but you are risking it with this guy because he hadn't had a year like that in quite some time. Brent Burns left, and maybe he felt like some guys are just at ease and just dominate and put up crazy numbers when they are on bad teams. And I'm wondering if Erik Karlsson is capable of having the same impact on a contending team where you got to spread it around a little bit, where it's not just your puck, And the puck may have to go to Sydney, may have to go to Malkin, may have to go to Letang every once in a while. You got other people you got to share the puck with. In San Jose, it doesn't matter. There's no pressure. You just go. And he had a hell of a year, man. Historic season. If you're a defenseman, you put up over 100 points, man. I'll give it to you. I love Erik Karlsson's game. I'd love to see him in Pittsburgh. I don't want to see him in San Jose. But just like Carolina and Pittsburgh and some of these teams, Seattle, where, they want Erik Karlsson. They don't necessarily need Karlsson. San Jose is like, we don't want or need Karlsson. We're trying to rebuild. We want something in return. We want your prospects. We want your draft picks. So I think some teams are just kind of sitting back and being like, okay, this is the best we can do. I know San Jose is saying, hey, we want more. We're going to sit back. But do they really want more? Or are they just saying that here on, July 16th, 17th, whatever we're at? Are they saying that now versus, you get to September, beginning of October, all of a sudden that mindset can shift a little bit, Cam?
Yeah, I agree with you. Needing and wanting are completely different. Dude, you just don't know with him. And I think his numbers and when he played with Brent Burns, they both played better without each other around them, Mm-hmm. So I heard the Carolina rumors and stuff like that. He's certainly a game changer. But man, he's banged up, and there's just a price tag on that. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that, but it would be cool for him to get the fuck out of there. I want the best players in the world, like an Erik Karlsson, just be on a contending team. It's just better for the sport. Get them the fuck out of San Jose. They're terrible. I don't know if Pittsburgh's too that much better, but having Karlsson pass the puck to Crosby cutting across the blue line.
It'd be cool. It'd
be goddamn cool, Andy. It really would.
Although, can I just say this, though? I'm not going to sit here and say that he won't land in Carolina or that Tarasenko won't land in Carolina. I'm certainly not saying that either of them are going to land in Carolina. I just think Tom Dundon just anybody who's available, he's they're in the mix, but they never land the guy. I know they got Pacioretty and they got Burns and they've done some nice moves and stuff. But they're always rumored to be in the mix for, this guy or that guy. And, you just wonder how much of it is just talk. Are you truly willing to spend the money and give the assets about here? Or is it just Tom Dundon just telling everyone that he's interested,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe it's just like to kind of get something going and hear different rumblings and whatnot. But if he is, I like it. You're right there. If I'm Carolina, I'm like, maybe one other piece will take us to the promised land. Like they just kind of miss their mark every year, whether it's an injury, an overtime goal, or whatever. But Carolina's been there. Like they've been right there every single year, and they are a piece away from going to the Stanley Cup final. Whether they're going to win or not, I don't know. But they are a piece away.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They're always a great regular season team. I just want to see them they had a good run this year. And I know Rob Brindamore said they didn't lose to Florida. They got swept, but they didn't lose.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, we didn't lose, but we lost. But we didn't lose.
Pieces.
They were. I like Carolina, dude, but I want to see them actually get to a Stanley Cup final. You got the situation with Tony DeAngelo. Now, I will preface it by saying DeAngelo came on our podcast. He was great. He and I kept in touch a little bit. I like the guy a lot. But this continues to follow him around, man. When now he's getting bought out. I think he's the first player to get bought out by 2 different teams or something like that. I think he only had 1 year left in his contract at $5 million with the Philadelphia Flyers, and they're in a different situation. But, you hear about him and John Tortorella not getting along. He was a healthy scratch down the stretch. He was benched. I don't know, man. Like Tony DeAngelo, he can bring a lot to the table because with all that being said, I think he still finished with north of 40 points, double digits in goals, something like that. So he can play, and there's always going to be a spot for you if you can play. But at some point in time, you got to stop having this paper trail of negativity follow you around as well. What's the real story? Why are teams saying this about you?
No, he's got some issues. He does. I mean, you can't deny that. Are they? If he's in the right situation, can he be controlled with a veteran group, a winning team, perhaps a GM that maybe is a little bit more controlling and intimidating? I think that you can. I would take a risk and have him for a discount somehow. I would.
It's gonna be a discount now.
Well, yeah. Okay.
He may even go to camp on a PTO for all you know.
Okay, Andy, I'd take a chance on him. I would. I'd give him a chance.
I would.
And see if I could bring him into a locker room where maybe he is controlled in a bit. Maybe his personality, he's not, I'm walking around like a peacock. Well, no, this locker room, we don't do that. And maybe he could fit in well and just think about playing instead of all the other bullshit. Because he is pretty effective. Like you said, double digits here, 40 points. Pretty tough. I don't know. I'd take a chance on him.
Hey, listen. He's different. He's from South Philly, whatever which part of Philly he's from. He brings a different mentality. He's got that Italian mentality. And maybe if his personality changes and he becomes this model figure, maybe he's not as good of a player either. Maybe he needs that chip to be effective on the ice too.
I rather him be less effective on the ice and not have his chip than maybe being effective on the ice and having a chip and disrupting the locker room. I think there's a balance to it.
Yes.
You can't disrupt the locker room. You can't have people roll their eyes at you. You can't have the media talking about you. Just be quiet and play.
Right.
You don't want any fucking controversy because you're affecting everybody else. Then then you're back in a jam again. And then no one wants to play with you. Just do your thing.
I go back to the Trevor Zegras situation. If he was a guy who was a bad teammate and he was disruptive in the dressing room, then I can understand why you'd say, well, I want to bash his teeth out. He's not having those issues. His teammates all in all seem to like him. Tony DeAngelo, man, I've heard from a number of his teammates that they like him too.
Yeah, I heard
so
that
I don't, but for whatever reason, maybe it's the authority he has issues with. I don't know. I think a lot of people said it at the time when he signed with Philly that this was not going to be an easy situation between he and John Tortorella. And there was some talk about him going back to Carolina. So, hey, a lot of teams could use his attitude a little bit too, But it's got to be controlled. It's got to be productive, man. You got to channel it in the right way.
Yeah, it's got to be like a team mentality. I'm getting pissy because somebody did something with my team. Yeah, you just can't be annoying. It's annoying hearing about your teammate that says stupid things. It's annoying when your teammate disrupts the team when no one else is doing anything. It's annoying. And no one wants to be around annoying people. You know how Andy tells stories for too long, guys out there? That's annoying. Tony D'Angelo being in the paper, bitching here and there, being loud, it gets annoying, and people get sick of it. You know what I mean, Andy?
I'm about to get back on that water very, very soon.
Well, yeah, why don't you, it's been 2 hours, aren't you craving to get back out there? Here, this is what I think you don't like your vacation. Andy's been he's dragging out this fucking podcast.
All right, I gotta go.
If he was excited about getting back to his family on the whatever the fuck they're doing, they're probably I don't know, walking around spending money. If you're excited about getting back with them, you would have wrapped this thing up 40 minutes ago.
They're on the beach. I'm heading to the beach right now.
Dude, you go chill with your family.
Go, baby.
What are you doing?
Let's go. What are you doing? I mean, listen,
Cam
makes me do this in the middle of the afternoon. I wanted to do this first thing in the morning, you know?
I got a job I got to do. I can't cater to your stupid vacation that you take every week.
I could have gotten you off this morning.
No, you can't do anything.
It's one morning off.
About screwing your. See, that's where Andy and I, guys. I don't want to screw. I can take off anything. I don't want to screw my teammates over. Now they got a host and stuff like that. It screws them up, man. I'm not doing that to them. Andy doesn't give a shit. I wouldn't do that to him.
Hey, last thing for you before we get out of here. Anything else? Any other takeaway from Corey Hirsch that you want to express?
Oh God,
he had a good career too, man. He was. I mean, he didn't have a great NHL career, but he had a great junior career.
Forsberg postage stamp.
Oh my
God! So they're going to pay him money, right, to be on the stamp? And did he deny it? I forgot what he said.
No, so it was the way it's been reported over the years is that he didn't want his image to be shown on the stamp. Yeah. But he said, no, that's not true at all. He said, I think my agent asked him for $50,000 or something like that. And they never got back to him. And all of a sudden the stamp comes out and it's like a goalie with a different number, a different name and everything.
Did he try to? Yeah. Did he could he get anything out of that? How did that work?
He probably could have, but they didn't want to pay him any money. I don't know. Yeah. There was no lawsuit, nothing like that. But
it's still him though. But they put a new number on it. That'd be kind of gutless.
Yeah, I know.
You know. I'd be like, just keep me on there and just keep. I don't want any money, but I get trying to get some money out of it. That is you still.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it's time for me to get back out on the water. Right. With the fisherman community, the yachting community, the boating community, the whale watching community, they're all messaging me right now, being like, "Where are you? You didn't leave yet, did you?" So,
no, more like your wife's messaging you, like. Yeah. Ivy's having a hissy fit. I need you back now. I can't handle this.
No, she did tell me to fill up their water bottles before I go.
Oh, yeah. So. Okay. Get back to your kids, dude.
And she said, don't forget.
Take some more pictures, by the way, too.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I want to see the beach and stuff. Yeah. No, I'm
okay. I will. No, I'll send you some. I'll send you some on that.
Yeah.
With the,
I want to see all the, well, actually, I don't really care.
With my friends that I've met. I'll send those to you. Okay. Hey, the Cam Strick podcast is brought to you by Hair Club and hairclub.com, 800-279-7878. Check it out. Check it out today. Hair Club. First Form, baby. First Form and firstform.com. Cam, I got a peanut butter lovers bar right next to me. I can't wait to eat that before I go back down to the beach and go back down to the boaters and the fishermen and, the yachting community and everybody else that I'm going to hang out with the rest of the day. I need that energy. I'm going to find it with First Form. Now, you got to use our link, firstform.com/Cam Strick. That is the link. Check out their apparel, all the clothing, everything they have. Give a shout out to First Form Nick.
What up, Nicky boy? What's up, baby?
And get that cat out of the video screen, Cam.
Baby.
My eyes are itching already.
She follows me everywhere I go.
Cat looks hungry.
Yeah, right.
I've seen some boats. They got cats on the boats, dude. You ever seen that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Little boat
damn right.
Oh, yeah.
Little kitty cats on the boat. They know where to go. They'll take care of the bugs. Mm-hmm. If there's any bullshit in there, they'll take care of it. Yes. They're independent,
Yeah. Hey, download that First Form app. Get that app and do it today. Again, our link. If you're going to order anything from First Form, you do it from our link, firstform.com/Cam Strick. That is the link to use. All right, the Illinois Recovery Center, Cam, tell us about it.
Hey, it's a lovely brand new place in Swansea, Illinois. My buddy Chrissy Pondoff, who's been through hell and back with all kinds of different addictions. Erik Karlsson, same situation. They're running this beautiful facility that has awesome, huge windows, a lovely acreage. The people there they know exactly what's going on with everybody. They've been through it themselves. They got great doctors. The housing is incredible. When I went into one of these a couple years ago, it was it was pretty brutal. A lot of them are pretty brutal. This place is very comfortable, especially for your mindset, and they will work with you. They're not going to keep any beds open. They'll take care of you from people anywhere around throughout the country. Check it out and see for yourself. But I'm telling you, I know firsthand, and they got it going on over there. They really do, and they're really truly in it to help people. And it's hard to find that. It truly is.
And listen, if you or someone wants to learn about the IRC, the Illinois Recovery Center, you can check out their email, or you can email them, info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com. So you can email them there, info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com. The Illinois Recovery Center's mission is to be the receiving hand when someone is seeking help, Cam, and we all know how important that is. Phone number to call, 888-743-0971. 888-743-0971. Of course, Tesson Roofing and Brett Tesson, one of the best roofers you're going to find in the entire North America, Cam. I mean, that's what separates him from the competition, man. He is the best. Any type of roof you're looking for, ask about the Greener Shingles Rejuvenator. They can do commercial roofs, residential roofs. 314-932-1042. That's the phone number, 314-932-1042. If you want to give them a call, TessonRoofing.com, Cam, that would be the website to call. The big boy, the OG, Brett Tesson.
He is the OG. That's why, dude, even his whole, his workers and the people that work for him and, maybe the managers and stuff like that, they're the nicest guys, man. I grew up with a lot of those guys. They work their ass off. That's why the company's successful. There's a reason for that. They'll help you out. Very down to earth, always on time. Little things that annoy you, they do right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so they do work with the insurance companies too. And just check them out. I'm telling you. And
they're a preferred contractor with the majority of insurance companies. That's what separates them from the rest. Brett Tesson. TessonRoofing.com. Right. Check that out today. All right, Bellman and Bellman Automotive, Cam. At Bellman, you get no what?
Swinging dicks, homie. No swinging dicks.
What does that mean?
It means a jackass that's wigging his dick around. When your wife's trying to buy a car, he brags about himself and he's annoying. He's forceful.
Yeah.
He might smell her hair.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't think you were going to take it.
It's more like he just, he brags about his football days in high school.
Yeah. Oh my God.
How he beat me up or something.
I know. We all know those guys. Okay, just stop right there. It's putting me in a bad mood, to be honest with you.
Fucking, I hate, no shit. Those swinging dicks are annoying.
That's what it does. Yeah. Now I'm in a bad mood.
I know.
You had to really take it to that level about smelling hair. I don't know why you had to do all that.
Well, whatever. It's a fact.
They do have great vehicles, though. And they approve everybody. So if you have bad credit or no credit, hey, no issues.
I'll take care of you.
At Bellman Automotive. Say hi to Danny Boy and Dale and Kenny.
Danny, Dale, and Kenny, what up, baby?
TessonRoofing.com. Buick GMC on one side of the street. On the other side, Cam, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, all located where?
Troy, Missouri. It's Bellman, not Tesson. Tesson's the roofing company.
Bellman Automotive.
There you go, Andy.
Bellman.com. B-E-H-L-M-A-N-N.
You need to get back to the beach, dude. Get the fuck back to your family.
Right now. I got to get back
out there swimming with sharks right now.
He better not be.
Well, they need maybe you to be out there to maybe help them.
Well, the beach is open. All right, I'm off, man. Listen, all the best. We'll be back live and in living color on the next episode. So look forward to that. Hope everyone enjoyed Corey Hirsch, man. Great interview, great guy. Thanks to everybody. Check out our website, camstrick.com, all the social media. Follow us, Instagram, Twitter, message us, slide into the DMs, man. They're always open. Love to hear from
always
you
open,
man. Always
love all you guys. Love all y'all. See you, dudes.
Adios.